Gaming news today is all about the PlayStation State of Play that just got announced. I had to change the title and thumbnail to this live stream. I was going to say, where is it? It's supposed to be this week from everything that we have heard, and they just announced it very quickly. I'm going to give you the information right here at the jump of the stream, and we're going to get into a leak that I believe this blog debunks, or at least debunks some of it. They said, tune in this Wednesday for more than 35 minutes of reveals and news from developers around the world. We'll share new looks at anticipated third-party and indie titles, plus updates from some of our teams at PlayStation Studios. Okay, so this would mean we might actually get some of the stuff that we saw on that leak, but I don't know. I mean, the God of War, Metroidvania, and Wolverine, I mean, they're saying PlayStation Studios, plural, and they say including an extended look at Saros, Housemarque's mysterious new title arriving next year. Now, Saros on the sheet only had like 3 minutes, and I was like, oh, maybe that's going to be a teaser trailer for Saros' own State of Play. That clearly is not what's happening, but the fact that multiple PlayStation Studios will be there, perhaps we do get some kind of a update on Wolverine, which is what some people are hoping for. Look forward to nearly 5 minutes of gameplay captured on PS5. Now, what's interesting about this is that's not that much longer than the 3 minutes we saw slated on the leak. 5 minutes isn't much of a deep dive, okay? So this is an extended look. Maybe the deep dive is in fact coming later, and they're going to do something with its own State of Play or something to that effect, because I don't feel like 5 minutes is long enough for a deep dive into much of anything, but we'll have to wait and see. So the next State of Play is September the 24th at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. Oh, this is good. I'm still going to be able to do my meeting, because I usually leave around 6 o'clock. I'll just have to jet. I'll have to jet because, that'll be I want to make this meeting that I'm going to. So we will definitely be co-streaming this tomorrow. 3 minutes is nearly 5. Well, 3 minutes could quite literally be the extended look, and then they could close it out with the trailer announcing its own State of Play. I mean, I still think that the leak it's interesting. We'll look at all the items on the leak later in this stream. I'll go through every single game listed on the leak and explain why I think it could be a tentative outline for a show that they're doing. There are certain games on there, and there are certain titles that just don't make any sense. Like, if you were trying to fake people out, it doesn't seem like you would include some of the games that are on this list. So we will go through that list later. Look for a timestamp below if you're watching this as a past broadcast. And be sure to check out my latest deep dive into Ghost of Tsushima. It's like a 33-minute long video. I really enjoyed making that. People are really giving it a lot of praise. So thank you everybody who has done that. And it'll be fun to just go through the leak and see how much of it ends up being accurate. Here's the other interesting thing. If you add up all the minutes on the leak, it was a 38-minute runtime show. And they're saying that this is going to be a 35-plus minute show. I don't know. The leak seems like maybe, again, they got their hands on some tentative plan. The picture was super hard to see. Like, it wasn't even a good picture. Like, if you saw, I tweeted this and I asked if this got debunked. Like, the picture was so difficult to see and so blurry. The angle was so terrible. I don't know. The 5 minutes of Saros gameplay confirmed. That could have been a rough tentative outline and they had Saros on there for 3. Now it's 5 again. All the minutes added up to 38. So you're at the dentist appointment right now, feeling super scared. Well, hey man, don't be too nervous. I got to thank some people though. Let me get the goal up and running here. We have switched the goal to baby steps. We're going to have Madam play baby steps on Friday night. We think that'll be funnier than Silent Hill F. And then Valkyrja renews their VIP over here on YouTube. And then Han shot first, and so did you, Joker Quinn, with the first gifted member of the day. And then Legendsat is coming in with a VIP, and we're at 214 already on the week. Don't forget, we got multiple stretch goals. 500 unlocks Friday night. But when we go beyond that, there's other things. There's community game on Saturday. Community game on Saturday you can unlock. There is the Make Lono Rage segment that you guys came up with, where I have to read everything put in chat by members and not show any emotion. If you guys unlock that one should be pretty fun. But Let's make our predictions now for the PlayStation State of Play. What do you think's going to be there? We know Saros is going to have 5 minutes. I still don't think if that's the extended gameplay or the deep... What did Housemarque say? Didn't they say a deep dive? What was their phrasing? 5 minutes doesn't seem like that much time. That's pretty short. I think you rewatched the Saros reveal because they never said they were doing a deep dive. Yes, they did. They actually did, in fact, say that. Housemarque, Saros tweet more later this year. Let's see here. They said their exact phrasing was, okay, they did use the word extended. They didn't say deep dive. Housemarque said this on Twitter. Expect our first look at extended gameplay later this year. So this was actually stated by the developer. So they did use the word extended, and that's what's being used in the PlayStation blog. So I was misremembering. I thought they said deep dive. So maybe this is quite literally what we're supposed to get. There's not going to be any more. I thought they were going to announce, you know how they announced the Ghost of Yotei State of Play? I thought that's the way they were going to do this. I thought they were going to be like, oh yeah, there's a Saros State of Play after Yotei. Like, I expected Yotei to get the big push right now. It is a little out of order to have Saros doing something right now, but they're probably trusting Tokyo Game Show to pick up the ball and run with it and really push Ghost of Yotei marketing. 5 minutes of gameplay doesn't mean the extended look is only 5 minutes, though. Developer chat will easily be an extra couple of minutes. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Usually they just talk over it, though. We'll get a solo state of play probably close to launch. That's probably correct. Saros will release Q1 of 2026. Wolverine will release Q4. I think Wolverine's there. I do. I think the Wolverine game will be at the PlayStation State of Play. Guys, as you're piling in, the PlayStation State of Play was officially announced. We will be looking at the State of Play leaks in a little bit. I'll comb through it. I'll tell you why I think maybe this is in fact a genuine leak. Maybe they did get their hands on an actual rundown, because they said it was going to be, I added up all the time, it was 38 minutes. This blog says over 35 minutes. It also says it's going to be a lot of third party. It was an awful lot of third party on the State of Play rundown that I looked at. It also had multiple PlayStation studios. It didn't have just one, and they said in this blog post there's going to be multiple PlayStation studios. So, yeah. If it is, it'll just be an engine trailer cinematic but not gameplay. Why push Wolverine if Saros is going to be first? I would imagine at this point in time, pushing Wolverine would be to establish release window, because at this point I think that's needed. I think that's needed right now. I think they need to come out and be like, Wolverine 2026. If it's coming in 2026, you got to do that now. And then you come to the Game Awards with gameplay. That would be the way I would play it. Now, obviously, I'm not in charge, but that's how I would play it. I'd be like, all right, you don't want to step on Yotei, and you don't want to step on Saros just yet, because Saros did make the promise earlier this year that we would see extended gameplay. But you definitely don't want to step on Yotei, so you're going to save that Wolverine gameplay, because we know Wolverine's going to be a much bigger title than Saros. I think that's fair to say. Wolverine gameplay right now would severely overshadow Yotei. So right now, if you're coming out with Wolverine, which we're hearing from Tommy Hendy and other sources, that the Wolverine trailer is ready to go, well, you'd show up at the State of Play, you would say, Wolverine 2026, everybody gets excited, okay, we finally have a release window, and then you come to the Game Awards with gameplay. I agree, give us a teaser with a release window tomorrow and gameplay at the Game Awards. That just feels right to me. They don't like to step on their first-party property. I'm kind of surprised we're getting the Saros extended look before Yotei, but I think they're trusting Saros isn't big enough to really, like, upset the Yotei push, and Tokyo Game Show has got a ridiculous amount of Yotei stuff to push, and they're going to let that be the runway. That starts tomorrow after this State of Play. As soon as the State of Play is over tomorrow, like a couple hours later, the Tokyo Game Show kicks off, and they're probably just trusting that to really be the big marketing push. And I don't think they think Saros is going to upset that. Wolverine would certainly overshadow that. It'd be like, oh my gosh, we finally got to see Wolverine's gameplay. Yotei has enough marketing. I'm speaking from their patterns in the past. I'm not saying there hasn't been enough Yotei marketing. I'm saying they tend to not do that. They tend to not overshadow one game. I will actually agree what Eugene is saying. They've dropped a ton of trailers for Yotei. So they actually haven't done that up to now, if you think about it. They weren't dropping this many trailers for Ragnarok or Horizon or Spider-Man 2. Yotei's really getting the treatment. I wonder if the new leadership has said, we need to take a more aggressive approach with the marketing. We need to take a more aggressive approach. We need to be out there more often. Why are we not doing that? We have an enormous YouTube channel. What are we doing? I don't know. I wonder if we're seeing a shift in the marketing strategy with the new leadership. Horizon Forbidden West had 7 trailers. Yeah, but did they do trailers like this? They've got trailers for a single weapon. Like Yotei trailers, like here's the Odachi, here's this, here's that, like a minute long. I don't think Horizon did that many, did it? Horizon showed off the game, the story. I think they showed off the combat. I think they showed off the features. I remember maybe 4 or 5 trailers for Horizon. Horizon was delayed like twice. Yeah, that might be why you had more trailers for Horizon. I mean, it was delayed, so they just had to kind of like keep stuff. I don't know. The push for Yotei I've not seen before from PlayStation. It was like pulling teeth to get new gameplay or new trailers for Ragnarok. I remember that being frustrating. It was like, where are you? And a 5-bomb comes in from JW to put us on the doorstep of the next milestone at 225. I owe you guys a member. Whoever hits it gets it. Speaking of hitting it, hit that like button. Boys, the PlayStation State of Play was just announced. What do you think's going to be there? God of War Egypt would be a dream come true. That God of War was bothering me on that leak. It looked, people were like, oh, it looks AI. And I'm like, does it though? It honestly looked genuine. It looked genuine. I don't know. What's good, feed? It was the angle of the photo. The angle of the photo was what got me. I was like, somebody took this picture really quickly. They didn't even try to get a good picture. It is a horrible picture. It is an absolutely horrible picture. You can barely see it. Which deserves a sequel more? A 20 million seller or an 8 million seller? I think the most deserving was obvious. What are you talking about as far as sequels go? I think the God of War Metroidvania is going to be there. You need to see this picture? All right, hang on. I'll show it to you. I'm telling you, this picture was too bad. This is one of the, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say that this is one of the best fakes I've ever seen. All right? This was at the top of the form. This was at the top of the form. And you can see the screen distortion. Oh, somebody was saying that Days Gone was more deserving of a sequel than Horizon. I mean, Days Gone didn't even have near the commercial success. Eugene's correct. This picture was so bad, you could barely make it out. Let me make sure. Let me see if is my second camera working? It is working today. Hey, there we go. Yeah, this looks like such a bad photo. Let me show you the full picture. Let me show you the full picture. All right, hang on a second. You can barely read the words. All right? Potential. Where is it? Is this it? Yeah, like, look at this picture. Open image in a new tab. No. Save image. I can't stand that Reddit does this. Save. Go here. Open the dadgum image. Reddit's like, oh, you want to open the image in a new tab? Here's another tab of Reddit. Like, what the frick? All right, look at this. Look how bad that is. Yeah, it's not the Bloodborne one. Look at how bad the quality is. It's like you can barely read it. Now, I don't know if you're really trying to fake people out, I could see somebody saying, make it a bad picture. It'll make it more believable. But the one says featuring Santa Monica Studio. I don't know why the rest don't say featuring. Like, if we're really analyzing it, why does it say featuring Santa Monica Studio? Wouldn't Saros say featuring Housemarque? Unless, again, this was a rough draft and they haven't gone back through. Dawn of Olympia? Dawn of Olympus. Here, I'll show you the other thing that's making it awkward. This is the other thing that makes it awkward. Catalog is spelled in, like, the European style. Yo, what's good, Touch of Snow? You know what I'm saying? Like, what in the world? Why is it spelled like that? Listen, I'm going to tell you, this is one of the best fakes I've ever seen if this is a fake. No, it's not Saros with a U. It's S-A-R. Yeah. This is one of the best fakes. If you go to their last state of play, you see this image up here in the corner, okay? This is the exact pattern at the end of the show where they show all the games that they showed, right? A lot of SIEs in Europe. That's not how catalog is spelled here. We spell catalog without the UE. Yeah. This is the exact same pattern right here. I posted an image last night in the Discord. The circle, the downward triangle, the quarter circle, the X, and the L shape. If this is a fake, somebody really, really did their homework. Fuzzy says this was a year ago. Isn't that the one that was right, Fuzzy? There was a leak recently that was 100% dead on correct, and like everybody did the same thing. They dismissed it. Oh, is that the same person? Is Ghost 970, is Ghost 6970 the same person that faked this? Because this was a fake. Yeah, Concord 2. It is funny. It is funny that they said September 24th. Did they do a state of play on the 24th last year as well? Holst's HQ is in Europe. I played in both Horizon and Days Gone, but I prefer Horizon. And Stone Spire's going to round us out. He's wanting somebody to do the 5-bomb. He wants that 225. Somebody quickly do a gifted 5-bomb before Joker Quinn or Jazz to ruin it. We got 2 ruiners in the community now. 2 days before Tokyo. Right? I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'm telling you right now, if a 10 bomb comes in from Pathalon Phoenix, he's like, you need a 5, I'll give you a 10. We are now exactly 20 away from the next one. And Joker Quinn, you were a little too slow to ruin it, Joker Quinn. So frick you, bud. Nice play, Pathalon. Gets us to 230. We're 19 away from the next milestone. I owe YouTube a member. Thank you so much. Saros is going to be the game of the show. Mark my words. Think about the flow of the show, though. The leak. Saros is second to last. Wolverine is last. If you were going to just do a Wolverine review window, and also, like, I don't think they'll say, like, look for gameplay later. If you were just going to remind people about Wolverine and put 2026 on the screen, I feel like you would close out the show with that. I feel like you would let that be the showstopper. You would let Wolvie be the bomb. Be like, boom, here you go. Wolverine is coming next year. You'd confirm it for people. But Saros is second to last on that sheet. Wolvie would be one last thing. Exactly, especially if Wolverine's trailer is just going to be a release date. It's not going to be gameplay. I think they would save Wolverine gameplay for the Game Awards. You would not overshadow Yotei right now with gameplay. I don't think Saros can overshadow Yotei. It's not big enough. Wolverine's big enough. You got the link to it already? Oh, it's going to be a live stream. Wait. No, that's from 11 months ago. Yeah. They did. They did a state of play on September 24th last year. It's been a year since it's exactly the same date. That's so funny. A gifted member renewal from Digital Dude. We really got to see Wolverine tomorrow. They have to show something. Another CG trailer for Wolvie. I bet you they would do something like they did with Intergalactic. They'd have like a couple of seconds of gameplay at the end. And like, yeah, it would probably be mostly another cinematic though. Yeah, which I've always said, if you're going to go quiet for a really long time and you're going to finally come back and say something, you either need to bring a release date or gameplay or both. If they bring the release date, even if it's just 2026, I'm okay with that. As long as we get gameplay at the Game Awards. I think that would be the time to do it. That would be the time to really let Insomniac flex. If you guys are just tuning in, make sure you're smashing that like button. The PlayStation State of Play was announced 30 minutes ago. We're going through predictions. We're going through leaks. We're going through expectations, things that people want to see happen. I bet they're teeing up Saros to be 2026's Yotei. No. No way. No. Wolvie is going to be the big game next year. I'd put money on it. Yeah. Wolvie's the big game next year, and then Intergalactic is the big game for 2027. I would put frickin' money on it. I would. Venom. We don't know what happened with Venom, but the recent leaks from MP First was that Wolverine will be first and Venom will be second. I don't know what happened if that's true. That seems kind of strange. Maybe they see Venom as a good precursor to Spider-Man 3 and they wanted to be closer to the PlayStation 6. I don't know. Saros is likely the first half game. Wolvie the second. Completely agree with that. I bet you we get Saros in February or March. And then I bet we get Wolvie in the October-November timeframe. Similar to how Yotei's landing October. They did God of War in November. They did Horizon. I forget when. Horizon was an early game year. That was a weird year because we got 3 big games. That's unusual. They did Horizon, GT7, and God of War. But that was because of the delays. Yeah. I'm here to tell you. Boys. We're eating good. We're not even through this year yet. Yotei's still got to come out. Then Battlefield 6. There's some I'm probably forgetting. Yeah, that was February. Yeah. Horizon always likes to get upstaged by something. Upstaged by something. They got upstaged by Breath of the Wild and then Elden Ring. Pathlon says, I really hope they spread these games out. They tend to. I mean, look what they're doing. They did Death Stranding this year, and then Yotei's not until October. Gaming is so cooked. Actually, it's not that gaming is cooked. It's that gaming is cooking. I think, you know what I mean? That's really the statement that we should be going with, Nick. That's what we should be going with, Nick. Nick had a hot take on my tweet, though. Did you guys see what he said? I was kind of surprised. I mean, I was kind of surprised. He was pretty mean, you know? He's pretty mean. He's embraced his inner meanness. Look at how scandalous this is. He goes, sus. Showing RE9 again? Can you... Like, I don't like to call people out, but I mean, this is some freaking harsh... This is some harsh wording right here, you know? The way he asked this question, I thought better of you, Nick. I thought better of you, bro. You know? Just out here throwing blows on Twitter. Ratioing people boycotting Yotei, you know? It's unbelievable. This guy's got some big pants on all of a sudden. Couple million views on a tweet. Thinks he's hot. It makes sense to show RE9 because we've not seen any real gameplay. A lot of people were saying that RE9 could be there with Leon. Yeah. For all of my French fans, Leon, I'm going to be standing on business, says Hilly. That's right. Stand on it. Right on top of it. Oh, the tweet hit 5 million. Man. That's crazy. 33 wins his first award of the year. Oh, Expedition 33. That they're gonna need a room at the studio dedicated to all the awards. Not a shelf, not a bookshelf, not a wall. They're gonna need a room. Yes, thanks for taking a tour of Sandfall. This is our award room. Careful where you step. We ran out of space. We're having to remodel. Yeah, Please don't step on that one. We like that one. Like, gee, many Christmas, they're going to clean house. If you guys haven't hit the like button yet, please be sure to do that. I'm pausing the thing that nobody likes. Thank you so much for being here. We will be co-streaming the PlayStation State of Play tomorrow, so don't miss that. Make sure you're subbed to the channel. Make sure that you are subbed to the channel and have the alerts turned on. I just dropped, for the first time ever, I really wanted to do like a long-form video about the games that I love, and I did one about Ghost of Tsushima yesterday. If you haven't seen that one, be sure to check it out at some point during the day. RE9 looks like a return to what I really liked about the RE games. Feels like RE7. I agree with you. I loved RE7. RE8 kind of tipped over for me. I didn't like it as much. It was beautiful. I mean, it was a gorgeous game, but I just didn't like the gameplay as much as RE7. So I would love it if RE9 kind of pulls back closer to what made RE7 so good. This was supposed to be a feast. Like, it was excellent. We melted down all of our awards and just turned them into one giant statue of Esquier. Yes. And it deposits wine, and we filled him with wine. We have it shipped in every morning. We're not getting as much work done all of a sudden, but we really do like it. You just got one? I paused it a minute and a half ago. You shouldn't be getting any now. I'm Wee Then Woo, that's right. I would use the Game Awards as a doorstop. BAFTA means more to game devs as it's voted by devs, not game reviews. Yeah, that's why Returnal did better at the BAFTAs than the Game Awards. Game Awards is a pretty big deal, though. I mean, you want to act like it's not, but it is a big deal. The viewership's insane. I think the prestige from the award is actually quite coveted by developers. I think they really like it. They also know that it really causes a commercial surge for their game. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that when you win a Game Award, you get a pretty big push in sales. I've heard we'll see more Tokone characters at the Tokyo Game Show. So there was an official, I don't know if this was official or not, but Genki released the full PlayStation State of Play list. Oh, no, this is official. Yeah, this is official. So the official, Japanese PlayStation blog has the list here, and I'll assist you. Ghost of Yotei, Marvel Tokone Fighting Souls, Neo 3, 7 Deadly Sins Origin, Digimon Story Time Stranger, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake, Sonic Racing Crossworlds, Resident Evil Requiem, Onimusha Way of the Sword, Phantom Blade 0, Battlefield 6, Meteora, A Challenge of Time and Space, Fishbowl, Lumens Arise. What's interesting about this list is, yes, what's interesting about this list is that no Saros. I guess that makes sense given the market, though. These games are going to pull stronger. They're going to pull stronger in an Asian market maybe than Saros will. That kind of makes sense. So, yeah, that is the official list. Yo, Banshee resubscribing for 7 months over there on Purple. Purple's off to a slow start, but it's okay. It's okay. Hang on. Wait. We just got a bunch of renewals. We got Rain Ruin renewed their Prime. We got Comcast renewed their Prime. 24 months for Comcast. That's a lot. Thank you so much. Oh, no, that's not Comcast. That's ComaCast. I was like, Comcast TV? They like my show? Thanks, Comcast. No, it's ComaCast. I feel like that'd be a pretty boring broadcast, but it might be relaxing. I don't know. Those are just the playable games. Wait. Oh, that list is just the playable games, Eric? Huh. I have a question. Would they be having more Spider-Man video games? We're about as confident as we can be that there will be a Spider-Man 3. Outside of that, a lot of it's rumor and speculation. Like, is the Venom game real? There was a recent leak that indicated Wolverine was progressing much better and that people liked it. They had a trailer ready, and that Venom was real, but Venom would be coming later instead of before it. I thought it would come first. So Oh, we got Taylor Made with 40 months, says all the love. And then we got Zybersword with 17 months over there on purple. We're now at 236 on the week. Easy Tone with a $10 super chat. I kind of understand your logic for saving Wolverine gameplay for the Game Awards, but don't you think people will be pissed if it's only CGI after 4 years? Got to be more than an intergalactic style tease. Here's the thing you got to remember, okay? Here's the thing you got to remember. People are always going to be angry. It's a matter of channeling that anger in a way that serves your purposes as a company. And Rain Ruin's going to double dip with 2 months on YouTube. Thank you so much. 237 on the week. If we hit 500, my wife has to play Baby Steps on Friday night. That's why this is over here. You think the chances of seeing Wolverine again are very high? What do you mean seeing Wolverine again? As in, like, do you not think the game exists? Or are you saying seeing it again tomorrow? Like, I'm not sure what your question is asking. I'm mad that you said that. Yeah, like, people are going to be mad. They'll be mad that it's late next year. They'll be mad they don't get a date if it's just 2026. They'll be mad if it's November of next year. They'll be mad. They'll be like, oh, it's taking too long. You're asking if we're going to see it again tomorrow. Based on all the smoke around Wolverine in the lead up to this announcement, yes, I think we see Wolverine again tomorrow. I do. I think it's time. I think it's time to confirm that it's coming next year, and then I think they show gameplay at the Game Awards. Now listen, I have a terrible track record of predicting what PlayStation will do because PlayStation's almost impossible to predict. They're all over the place. Like, they don't make consistent plans. Thank you so much, Chase, for coming in with 35 months on YouTube, getting us to 238. Like, I literally said, I was like, yeah, the extended gameplay of Saros, I think they're going to wait until after Yotei. I was wrong. I'm consistently wrong on PlayStation in their marketing because their marketing is all over the place. Like, they don't do showcases for 2 years. They finally do one, and it was mostly third party and like cinematic trailers back in 2023. Ever since then, they've been doing state of plays, and they've been doing state of plays. The only thing I've gotten right with PlayStation is when everyone's like, oh, are they going to do anything? Are they going to do anything for the summer? And I was like, yeah, they're going to do their state of play to kick off Summer Game Fest. I've gotten that right like 3 years in a row. Everything else I get wrong. I'm serious. Like, they're so hard to predict. You're like, oh, yeah, they'll do this. Maybe they'll do that. Maybe they'll finally talk about this. Nope. Lono's not the PlayStation understander. No, I'm not a PlayStation whisperer. Their marketing is so dadgum all over the place. It's like the only thing I've been able to consistently get right is that they'll do a state of play to kick off Summer Game Fest. That's it. Or something, like, because they did the showcase the 1 year. Banshee comes in and says, let's do the double dip. Zybersword comes in for 17 months, says, PlayStation watches your show just to make it. Yeah, they just change it every time. So boom and boom. We're at 240. We are a 10 bomb away from 250. It's a good time to steal that milestone, Twitch. We are 10 members away from 250. A great start. It's only Tuesday. Let's keep it going. Let's go for the big one this week. Let's go for the 1,000. I mean, this tool that he built me, we can just keep pushing it. Let's see if we can't go crazy and welcome a bunch of new people. Also, if you upgrade, it counts as 2, and you get into more content. So consider upgrading your membership. They are the most unpredictable marketer. They really are. I genuinely thought, I was like, they're not going to do anything with Saros until after Yotei's out. That's been their pattern. And they were like, no, here's the 5 minutes of gameplay literally a week before Yotei comes out. Like, what? Like, now, every time they do it, I can kind of make sense in the aftermath. I'm like, well, Saros doesn't really have the power to overshadow Yotei. Tokyo Game Show literally starts the day after this happens, and they have a bunch of stuff for Tokyo Game Show for Yotei. I guess they're like, yeah, you can't really overshadow Yotei with Saros, so let's do it. Now, I do think they could overshadow Yotei with Wolverine gameplay, which is why I think if Wolverine is there, it'll be brief and it'll be a 2026 trailer. They'll confirm 2026, just like they did with Yotei. When Yotei finally gave us release window, they just said 2026. I'm sorry, they just said 2025, if you remember. That very first time that Yotei let us know when it was coming out, it just said 2025. I think they're going to do the same thing with Wolverine. It's just going to say 2026 at the end. They're not going to give us like a month or a date. But with how wrong I've been about PlayStation's marketing, who knows? Who knows? I don't understand how a game with imminent release can be overshadowed. Think of it this way. So the way that these platforms work, you know how they're driven. They're driven by numbers and data. Okay? And attention, getting the attention of people is a currency that is limited. And so in the week lead up to Yotei, you don't want people breaking down, analyzing, and chopping up gameplay of a gigantic Marvel piece of property. You want them talking about Yotei. You want every blog, every video, every tweet to be about Yotei. You want Yotei to be like the name in lights. And if more blogs and tweets and videos are out there talking about Wolverine, guess what? People are going to be thinking about that, paying attention to that, watching that instead. It can just hurt your momentum because it's all about attention, right? It's all about attention. YouTubers are playing the same game. If I've got a video doing very well, I don't like doing something immediately right after that. I don't like stepping on it. Like, I want it to kind of eat, in the algo. Well, I think similar things apply to marketing. I don't think Yotei is going to be at tomorrow's State of Play. I think there will at least be a trailer. I think there'll be a trailer. For it to not be there at all would be crazy. I know they're getting ready to go crazy at Tokyo Game Show. That's officially announced on the Tokyo Game Show website. To not even just have a trailer that's wild work. It's over 35 minutes. The 2025 is from the September 2024 State of Play. I need my camera zoom. I can't see. Got it. Let's try that again. Listen, that didn't go very well, but okay, so September of last year, on the exact same date, September 24th of last year, they did a State of Play where they unveiled that Yotei would be 2025. I think they do the same thing with Wolvie. I think they drop a Wolvie trailer and it ends with 2026. I think they do the same thing, right? 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 I did watch the new Unhunted trailer. It looks pretty good. Like waifu GTA. Hang on, I'm pausing the thing on YouTube. They've been marketing it too hard for it not to show up. That's kind of where I am, Byron. They have dropped more trailers for Yotei, I think, than they ever have for any other piece of property. Wolverine will show up and announce Venom on a bigger stage at the Game Awards. I think they'll show Wolverine gameplay at the Game Awards, personally. I think that's what they'll save it for. Bigger stage. PlayStation's has been releasing mediocre games. I feel like their games have been excellent this gen. I'm not going to try and convince you otherwise. If you didn't like them, you didn't like them. But I've loved them. I've got over like 100 and... I don't even know how many hours now. I think I'm closing in like 110 hours on Returnal. I thought Ragnarok was amazing. Like, I've had a great time. If you haven't had a great time, that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to try to convince you. Mediocre compared to who? Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd be curious, what have your favorite games been the last 5 years that you feel, there have certainly been some bangers. I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 would be one that I would think somebody might point to. Elden Ring, as far as like monumental titles. There are some big ones. Expedition 33, There's a lot of excellent third-party stuff that's dropped. Wolverine will bring more eyes to PlayStation, which means more eyes and hype for Yotei. True. Von Raz comes in with 17 months over here on Purple and bumps the line to 241. Thank you. Returnal ain't a PlayStation exclusive. You didn't say that. You said that PlayStation was releasing mediocre games. It's a PlayStation game, homie. It's PlayStation published, PlayStation owned. I mean, what? I'm not sure what you're saying. Bloodborne 2 would be better than current ones. Fight me. I think we're okay. I think everybody here is having a good day. We don't really need to fight you. If you are that looking forward to Bloodborne 2, good luck. I don't know if you'll ever get it. Shuhei Yoshida was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure unless they can get Miyazaki involved, you're not gonna see anything happen with Bloodborne." So, 4chan leak, grain of salt. Fair Games officially canceled. Haven Studios closed. Yeah, it's 4chan, but I wouldn't surprise me at all. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Will we be getting Disney's Kingdom Hearts 5 video game for PlayStation? I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know. They'll have a launch trailer a lot closer to the release of Yotei next week. Yeah, I don't think they do launch trailers on the launch date. Isn't that why they call them that? I thought that's why they called them that. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think at the PlayStation State of Play tomorrow, the Ghost of Yotei trailer will likely just be another trailer, like kind of combining all of the ones we've seen. It'll showcase quick shots of the weapons, elements of the story. I don't think they'll go through like the haptic feedback and the stuff that they just did with they had like the PS5 features trailer. I don't think they'll do that, and then they'll reemphasize the release dates and pre-order bonuses. I don't know. It'll probably be a pretty garden variety trailer, I would imagine. And a member plus renewal from Mikey Mike says, just jump back into Tsushima DLC after your video. Very excited for Yotei. Thank you so much for putting us at 242. Listen, y'all, listen, I'm here to tell you. All right, let me tell you something. Let me show you something, okay? I'm wanting to take my content in a bit of a new direction, and this was our first effort into this. It's a 33-minute video. This one here, Ghost of Tsushima, What is Honor? If you've got time today or rest of the week or whenever, give that a watch, please. Share it with your friends. Hit like, leave a comment, okay? Obviously, you can see looking at the live streams, that's like where the bulk of our viewership tends to come from. We're more of a live streamer, but these uploads are something new that we want to bring to the channel. So do me a favor, give that video some love at some point today, okay? Yotei will announce PS5 Pro details. I don't think they would do that at a State of Play. That's usually in like a blog. Eric coming in with 8 months over here on Purple. Thank you so much. It was a great watch. Thank you. Did you see the Wolverine leaks? You talking about the ones way back when or the new ones? Sorry I'm late. What's the topic for today? The topic for today is Nintendo controllers. No, I'm just kidding. The topic for today is the PlayStation State of Play. They just announced it this morning about an hour ago. We're going through predictions, leaks, rumors, what we want to see, what we hope to see. Yeah. I'm still waiting for PlayStation to announce the black plates for the Pro. Yotei already looks good on the base PS5. I don't think they usually use a State of Play for that kind of thing, do they? Don't they typically use like I feel like they use a blog for that. There we go. I feel like they typically use a blog for the PS Pro enhancements, like typically. At least I feel like that's been my recollection and my experience is that they usually don't like eat up big showtime to talk about PS5 Pro details. For tomorrow. Okay, so you'll notice something. I'm going to show you guys something. This is a pretty big development, okay? PlayStation doesn't know how to use thumbnails apparently. No. This is a live stream. Can anybody tell me why it's now a live stream and not a premiere? Can anybody tell me why? Someone in the class, raise your hand and say, I'll tell you. So one of the reasons that one of the State of Plays, like the entire thing got leaked, the entire rundown, is because if you upload a premiere, it's on the back end of YouTube, and a YouTube employee can be like, oh, let me watch this. Oh, look, there's everything. So they don't do that anymore. So they don't do premieres anymore. Someone at YouTube ruined it, you know? So They do live streams instead now. I kind of love that. They're like, yeah, no, I kind of love that. I love that, like, someone caused that level of disruption and chaos at YouTube. They're like, hey, I'm going to leak this. And now everyone's like, well, you can't do premieres anymore. You got to do live streams. Some nerdy loser at YouTube ruined it. And Mike with 27 months says, State of Play hype. Any news is great news considering how quiet they are these days. Stay amazing. Thank you so much. That puts us at 244. Keep it going, boys. 244. It's only Tuesday. Let's get ahead of pace. Let's really crush these stretch goals this week. I actually those Saturday community game night streams, those are fun. If you guys missed the last one, that was a good time. We did some Jackbox, and it was a good time. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, consider hitting subscribe. Make sure you turn alerts on. It's a daily live show. It's safe for work. We cover live events like State of Plays. We cover gaming news. We do gameplay. I'll be jumping into Baby Steps sometime today just to showcase the game and have some laughs. Yes, the description under the video, Digital Dude, is also on their blog post I read at the beginning of this stream. I obviously appreciate you bringing it to my attention, but I've already seen it. 5 minutes of Saros gameplay. Yeah. Yes, that is very exciting. That is the extended gameplay that Housemarque promised earlier this year. They're using the same language. So I had it in my memory. I had false headcanon on this. I thought they said deep dive. They said extended. And this says, including an extended look at Saros. So if you look right here, they're using the same word right here, extended. So Housemarque tweeted earlier this year and said that there would be an extended look at their game. And PlayStation's using the same verbiage. Pretty easy to conclude this is what Housemarque promised. Now, obviously, I'm very excited. You guys know I'm an enormous Returnal fan. I'm still playing it today. I still do Tower of Sisyphus to level up the perks. I'm trying to get every perk on every gun unlocked to level 3. Because when you do that, I'm telling you, you start doing that and you'll get a roll on a gun later in the game and it's a god tier weapon every time. You're like, oh, yes. Like, it's awesome. 2-minute trailer, 3 minutes of pure gameplay sounds fine. Did you see the new trailer for Kojima's game? Yes. Kojima's game OD, the one he's doing with Xbox, looks awesome. Looks just incredible. And then there was the poster for Fizzant. So, oh no, Saros is not Returnal. I understand. I also understand that it is the spiritual sequel to Returnal, and I cannot wait. I'm very excited. I wouldn't be surprised if PlayStation saved Wolverine for the Game Awards and just show Saros at the State of Play. Well, they use the plural term PlayStation Studios. Updates. They also said updates. Update complete. Upgrade complete. No, they said plus updates from some of our teams at PlayStation Studios, including an extended look at Saros, Housemarque's mysterious new title. I would hazard a guess that when they say that, updates from PlayStation Studios, that it's 3 of them. I think it's going to be 3 of them. So I think the 3 PlayStation Studios updates are Saros, Wolverine, and the God of War game, the Metroidvania. Now, what does that mean for Yotei? You don't need an update on Yotei. They wouldn't describe Yotei's presence at this event as an update. It'll just be a trailer. Right? It'll just be a trailer. I think it'll just be a trailer. There's just going to be a Yotei trailer. That's not an update from the studio. An update from the studio is Insomniac being like, we can't wait to show you more Wolverine, but for now, just enjoy this new trailer, and also, it's releasing in 2026. Something to that effect. And then Santa Monica, again, if that leak is real, then Santa Monica being quote-unquote featured on that piece of paper makes sense, because it's like, well, yeah, that's going to be, you know, them discussing why they did something so unique. This God of War Metroidvania that we have speculated by Insider Gaming that would be at the next PlayStation event. So, Yotei's done. It's been done for over a month. Yeah, there's no reason to do an update. It would just be a trailer. You wouldn't classify that as an update. That wouldn't. I don't think that's how you would categorize that. Let me see if I can. If I shrink this, can I do that? Yeah, that's perfect. There we go. If Marathon is not canceled and still coming, it's got to be at the state of play, right? No. I'm gonna tell you this. Just straight shooting with you. This is one of the worst times to do anything with Marathon. It is a blemish. You don't pull that game out right now. You're trying to get people excited about the future of PlayStation. You're trying to get people excited about Yotei and Saros. You don't want to be like, Marathon, right, guys? No, absolutely not. What a disaster that game is and will be. There is no way. There is no way. If Marathon's at this event, I would call that a massive optical mistake. Like, why would you do that? Marathon's heads down implementing feedback. They won't show anything for a while. Yeah, even if you think Marathon has a shot, which it doesn't, but even if you think Marathon has a shot, now is not the time to pull it out and show it to anybody. Fair games will never see the light of day. I'd put money on it. What about Marvel Tokone? Yeah, Marvel Tokone Fighting Souls could be there. Yeah. The Marvel Tokone Fighting Souls, I believe, is going to be at Tokyo Game Show. Yeah. That has the potential to be one of the biggest live service games that PlayStation's ever been attached to. It could be bigger than Helldivers. Who wants a God of War Metroidvania? I do. Me. This guy. What do you mean? Who wants a Metroidvania? Me. Prince of Persia's Metroidvania was freaking awesome. And everyone's like, Prince of Persia Metroidvania, why? It's one of the best Metroidvanias I've played since, like, Ori 2. And the first Hollow Knight, not the second one, because that's a vice of pain. It's not a Metroidvania. Silk Song is not a Metroidvania. It's a vice. It's a living, breathing vice to put your nuts in. Oh my gosh, that's just nothing but pain and torture. Lonnie, you're wrong. I'm sorry. I've said a lot today. What am I wrong about? I guess it's not canceled. I'm just confused on what they should do or if they should shadow drop it. I'll tell you what they should do with Marathon. Remove the word shadow and just drop it. Just let it die. Don't even deliver it. Just get it out of here. I bet Fair Games gets or has gotten canceled. I just don't think Fair Games is going to see the light of day. I don't think it has a shot. I don't think you can keep rebaking a cake like that. You're like, well, nobody really wants a competitive heist game. Who thought this was a good idea anyway? So let's go back and rebake it. You can't. What are you going to do? I hope Tokone gets as big as Helldivers 2 and they port it to Xbox. Oh, Marvel Tokone Fighting Souls will 100% go to Xbox and Nintendo Switch 2. You can write that down. There's no reason it won't. That would be weird if it doesn't. Apparently, the blogger from Forbes, who typically has pretty good intel from Bungie, because, they send it all to him, he says Bungie's Marathon will not be at Sony's State of Play. The next look is months away. There you go. This is like the worst time to do anything with Marathon. There's such low confidence in the game. You don't bring it out of the State of Play. What about a trailer, like a minute trailer, and boom, KOTOR is still happening? Maybe. Could we get a couple more likes? Let's get 200 likes on the video, guys. Thanks so much for being here. If you've hit subscribe today, thank you for doing that. I appreciate it very, very much. A lot of new subs today. Hope you enjoy the show. Hope you enjoy the rest of the week. If you want to support the channel directly, click join. And make sure you pick Member Plus. Von Raz says, this may be a hot take, but I was really excited for the thought of a Bungie-made extraction shooter in that art style. I may have been one of the few, but I was looking forward to Marathon coming out. Here's the thing, Vaughn. There's nothing wrong with looking forward to something. You could have a really unique palette, and you're like, I was really looking forward to that meatloaf and watermelon casserole. And I'm like, gah! Like, why? And they bring it out, and if it smells like vomit and nobody wants it, you weren't wrong for thinking like, hey, that could be pretty good, right? You being like, oh yeah, I think them making an extraction shooter in that art style, that could be pretty good. I don't think there's anything wrong with you being like, yeah, that could be pretty good. Once they put it out in front of everyone, people were like, what the fuck is this? Like, it was like an alpha. Bungie is so big sniffing their own farts. They literally thought we're gonna really wow everybody with an alpha. Have you ever seen another company do that? Hey guys, it's time for the showcase of the game that we've been working on for like 7 years. We can't wait to show you. Everybody, drum roll, ready? It's an alpha. It's basically a minimum viable product that's not ready to ship. Hold your applause. Is anybody here? Like, why is no one cheering? Like, what the frick? The feedback I've seen from the closed testing and updates have been pretty good. Like all the feedback we heard about the game leading up to the reveal. Like that feedback, how we heard it was good and people were liking it. Come on, Eugene. You gotta let this one go. You gotta let this one go, okay? Stop trying to make fetch a thing, okay? Marathon, stop trying to make marathon a thing. This thing, it's got no shot. There's no market for it. There is no market for it. There's not a big enough consumer base anywhere, and everybody's already looking at it like, even fans of extraction shooters are kind of like, I don't know. So let's say they get good feedback from the people who like extraction shooters. It'll just be another extraction shooter. The gameplay was good. It was bare bones, though. I don't know. I just feel like there are things that are from jump. It's like that's a lost cause, you know? The Mean Girls reference. Do you like that? Becky, is it Becky? Becky, stop trying to make fetch a thing. You know what's funny is it's actually not a bad, I mean, fetch is pretty fetch if you really think about it. People telling Bungie what they want to hear to keep getting access. That feedback loop is just so unhealthy. Like, can we be honest about that? Like, can I be real? Be real, fam. Can I be real? You're trying to kill my father. No, like, let's be real about this. That feedback with Bungie is so unhealthy. It'd be a shame if we decide we don't like you and we'll ruin your career or ban you from our game or no longer give you access. I'm sure that's a really healthy environment to be flown out and to provide feedback for. Yeah. I'm sure they're just getting such. I'm sure it's a very healthy environment, you know. I'm sure it's a great place to work right now. You know, there's nothing but greatness coming out of Bungie. Just yeah. Be real, son. You're trying to kill my father. Homie grabs the boom mic. I think that's the best thing in that scene. Him grabbing the boom mic brings the whole thing in. It brings the room together. In any case, this PlayStation State of Play will not have fair games or marathon. I'd put money on the table. Money on the table. Cash money. Right? No way you have fair games or marathon at this. I think you're keeping both those games out of the frame. They're not viewed in a positive light right now. They're just not. You can't if you pull those games out and you put them up on the stage, guess what everybody's going to talk about? They're going to talk about those games, and they're going to talk about what they look like and how they, you know, it's just that I don't think you want those out there on the landscape right now. Excuse me. What time is it? Okay, we're about an hour into the show. I'm going to go through this list, all right? Let's Stop trying to convince me that people are trying to convince you that 30 FPS Switch ports are impressive. People are trying to convince me that 30 FPS port on Switch 2 is supposed to be impressive. What are you talking about? A new leak revealed a host of ship customization features for Helldivers 2 that may have been scrapped. Why would they scrap those? He posted it like 4 times. Donovan, let me explain something to you. Let me just Donovan, listen to me now. Listen. I'm going to I can't put the chat up on screen because I am multi-streaming. Listen, homie. I want you to hear this. You have typed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times the exact same message. People trying to convince me that 30 FPS port on Switch 2 is supposed to be impressive. Listen, hear me. No one cares. Stop typing that. Nobody cares about that. It's not the topic today. I don't know why you're so pressed about it. Just, move on with your day, okay? You got to live your life. You got to put gas in your car. You got to buy groceries. If you've got an interview coming up and they're like, what do you think your greatest skill set is? What could you really bring for the team here? People trying to convince me the 30 FPS port on Switch 2 is supposed to be impressive. Okay. Where did you work before here? People trying to convince me that 30 FPS port on Switch 2 is supposed to be impressive. All right, we'll be in touch. Like, listen, man, you gotta move on with your life. You can't just keep saying that. He's on his first date, It's like, this place is really nice. How'd you get a reservation? People trying to convince me that these... She's like, what the frick? She's like, are you okay? Jiminy Christmas. MTO with 31 months. Why does Sony constantly put events on at 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern on a work weekday, rotated around or something? I'll tell you why. They don't give a frick about you, MTO. We're at 245. Somebody give me a 5-bomb to 250 before Joker Quinn or Jaster ruins it. Quick, gift the 5. Twitch, you're up. It's your turn. You're behind in the contest anyway. Quick. People are trying to convince me that this Reforge Gaming guy is impressive. That is good. That is good. It's like 5 or 6 in the morning, Japan. That's why. Yeah. And Pathlon Phoenix, are you for real right now? Is this what we're doing? He's okay. Fine. A single from Pathlon and a single from Joker Quinn. But guess what? I got something for you. And a 5-bomb comes in from Twitch. Suck it. Suck it. Twitch, thank you, Johnny Always. I owe a member to Twitch. That's what you get. That's what you get. You want to come in here? You want to mess around? Yeah? Yeah? You want to F around? Well, you're in the find out stage. Yep. The milestone goes to Twitch, Pathalon. $5 super chat from James William. You think is going to show a lot of their new game on display now? I don't why are you saying the Chinese? I was so nervous reading that. I was like, "Oh, what am I about to read?" We could be getting into bad territory if that's how you're opening. Do you think the Chinese... abort! Abort! Do you mean the China Hero Project? I need you to clarify your question. I need you to clarify the question, because that could have gone in a bad way. Do you think the China Hero Project is going to show a lot of their new games? Oh, that's probably what he meant. I don't know. Lost Soul Aside didn't do very well, and it was one of their bigger China Hero projects. Now, there's a couple that look very promising, but we don't really have any updates on them right now. So maybe. In any case, let's go ahead and gift a member to Twitch. Super chat sounded like a British imperialist. I was like, I literally, my brain was like, stop, pump the brakes. What are you reading? And I was like, oh no, this is safe. I was like, oh my gosh. A super chat gave me the feeling like I was going into a dark alley or something. I was like, this could go very poorly. Okay, we should probably go through this list. I wanted to pull up trailers for the whole list for you guys, so maybe I can kind of do that in Vamp at the same time. I'd like this segment, to be helpful for you. They still don't have a thumbnail for the PlayStation State of Play. What's going on over there, boys? PlayStation is so cooked. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so the first one here, we got this trailer. Let's see. I can't do one for that. I don't have a trailer for that. Let's see. We have. Yep, we got this one. We got another one here. This one's some of these. I'm telling you, if you're trying to convince me, that this list is made up, some of these games are really, really out of left field. Extremely out of left field. Oh, see, yeah, and this is another one that makes me think this list could be real. My man Insomniac Black coming in with 9 months and a VIP, dude. I appreciate it very, very much. He says, given enough time, Batman can convince you that 30 FPS on the Switch 2 looks good. Now listen, I rarely speak this harshly to people, Insomniac, but I need you to stop. Okay? All right. I'm sorry you guys had to hear that. All right. Let's see here. Moodang 2 hearts. Moodang 2 hearts. It's like if Doctor Who suddenly became Southern, It's like, what's the matter? Are you feeling okay? It's Moodang 2 hearts. They're hurting. Oh, and he falls down. All right, Phantom Blade 0. Oh, Phantom Blade 0 trailer. What else we got here? Yeah, here's another one that I just think really Stellar Blade 2 announcement? Did they just announce that today? Or are you thinking it might be at the event? Is that what are you saying? Ace Thunder PSVR 2. 2 years ago. That's 2-year-old announcement, 2-year-old announcement. That's a long time ago. Yeah, let's put the second trailer up there for RE9. Don't need one for that. Saros. Let's get Saros up there, and then we need Wolverine. Okay, I've got it. I like having trailers for you guys. I do. I like having trailers for you so that I've got something kind of behind me. Let's make this professional. Yeah. We'll go here and we'll do I don't even know where the freaking cap card is anymore. There we go. That's good enough. Wait, why is that not lining up? Hang on a minute. No. Yeah, my crop has gotten... Oh, I know what it is. There we go. I had zoomed in too much. Okay? Okay, so very quickly, let me pause the thing that nobody likes. Do me a favor and give me some likes, and we're going to get into this, okay? We're going to get into this list of potential games, okay? So let's do this. I'm not going to record this or anything. We don't need to do this as an actual segment because this will be dead tomorrow evening. But it's fun to do this because we can see if we're right or we can see if this is real. Okay, so there's like 12 games on this alleged leak, and the first one is Valor Mortis. Okay, now this debuted a month ago at Gamescom. They got a trailer right here on the PlayStation channel. They are saying this will have a 3-minute spot in the state of play. This would probably be a good time for a longer segment about Valor Mortis. How long is this trailer? This trailer is 2.5 minutes. I believe this trailer ends with, yes, coming in 2026. So this could be the right time, seemingly, with the trailer on PlayStation. You know, they just debuted this game. So Valor Mortis is supposed to kick off the show according to this thing. Now, my opinion is this leak, it could be a rough outline of a show. It could. We're already having some things line up. The fact that if you add up all the minutes on the spreadsheet about the show on this leak, it was 38 minutes. Well, this is a 35-minute plus show, so they got that right so far. Saros is going to be there. Now, Saros only had 3 minutes on the sheet, and we're hearing that it's going to be a 5-minute extended look. Again, it could have been a tentative outline, and they had the wrong minute counter on there. Maybe there was something planned. Maybe it's 3 minutes of gameplay and 2 minutes commentary. I don't know, okay? Maybe there's a 2-minute intro, since we did see at the bottom of the State of Play description that there is going to be updates from PlayStation Studios. So it is possible that, you know, that makes it, you know, somewhat accurate. Now, the second one on the list is one called God of War Dawn of Olympus. Okay, God of War Dawn of Olympus. Now, this is allegedly the God of War Metroidvania. Okay, now we have heard from reliable sources that is coming very soon, that it in fact does exist. Thank you, Joker Quinn, for gifting a member over here on YouTube. Let me add it to the total. You know, we know it exists, and we also heard from the same sources that said this state of play was going to happen. We heard that there was going to be God of War Metroidvania likely at this. Okay, so Dawn of Olympus is what it's called. Now, Santa Monica says they'll be featured during this section. It's interesting, again, that this tentative outline, rough sketch, whatever this was for a state of play, said that Santa Monica would be featured, and now we're hearing we're going to get updates from PlayStation Studios. That makes this somewhat plausible and somewhat believable. Also, they said it's going to be 9 minutes. And people are like, 9 minutes on a Metroidvania God of War game? Well, if you're catching up with Santa Monica and they're trying to explain the philosophy and the idea behind it, and you really are going to have to try to sell people on the idea in general, it kind of makes sense that you'd have a lengthy section to do that, given this is a pretty big departure for Santa Monica. Now, the next game listed is one that we've already seen. It's called Tides of Tomorrow. Now, this is one that I have said has potential. This debuted during the summer PlayStation State of Play. So similar to Valor Mortis, we could be looking at something that has some kind of a, you know, marketing lineup with PlayStation, since it did again debut during the State of Play. Now, this is a multiplayer game where the decisions of another player affects your game. You, quote, uncover their choices, deal with their consequences, and you shape their story. So it is got like player versus player, but you're not playing against somebody. You are seeing what they did and having to kind of figure out what you're going to do in response to what they did, the things that they caused, the chaos that they caused. So you can see here, you choose somebody to follow, you kind of uncover their choices and what they did with the NPCs and the combat and the parkour and everything else. So again, this one is called Tides of Tomorrow. Now, they're saying it has a 2-minute spot in the State of Play. This trailer is 1:44. Again, if you were actually going to show a decent breakdown of how gameplay is going to work in this game, 2 minutes sounds right. Again, I just don't know. Now, the next one, again, these games are actually, to me, they add some credence to the leak. I don't find these games to be that compelling. Like, if you're trying to trick people, this next one is called Dench Attack. It's going to have a 3-minute spot, according to the leak. This debuted during Gamescom. It's kind of like the art style of Hi-Fi Rush meets Tony Hawk meets bus driving something. Anyway, the reveal trailer is currently on the PlayStation YouTube channel, but it is also on other outlets like Xbox and IGN. Their Twitter does not seem to indicate any kind of a marketing contract, but they are going to Tokyo Game Show. So maybe they want to be at this State of Play to kind of kick things off. In a sense, again, this one compels me that somebody's not just trying to fake us out here. Like, this game doesn't seem like one that you would pick to be like, oh yeah, we're really going to trick people with Dench Attack. Again, it's a little random, and it's a little out of nowhere. And again, that initial trailer that I was just showing you is only 1 minute long. Apparently, this would be a 3-minute spot for Dench Attack. Again, it kind of makes sense. It's within the realm of what you would expect. Now, obviously, this next one's an easy prediction to throw in there. Interestingly enough, Ghost of Yotei only has a 1-minute spot, which, unless this person is extremely elaborate in this hoax, all of the trailers, all of the recent trailers for Yotei have all been about 1 minute long. This one right here is 1 minute long. And I even said, I don't see them doing any kind of a PlayStation Studio update. You don't need to update us. The game's coming out in a week. All we need is a minute-long trailer to remind us about the game. So again, interesting, in the lead-up to Tokyo Game Show, we know there's tons of Ghost of Yotei stuff at Tokyo Game Show. We're being told by this leak that Yotei will be in the state of play for 1 minute. And I think the time on that adds credence to the leak, okay? So we'll see if that ends up becoming true. I don't think you would want to spend a ton of time on Yotei. I don't really think you need to spend a ton of time on Yotei because, well, I mean, it's getting marketed to heck and back right now, okay? Now, the next one is a third-person stealth action thriller called Mudang to Hearts. It is set in modern-day South Korea. It debuted during the Xbox Showcase 2025. Now, just because it debuted during the showcase doesn't mean there's any kind of a marketing contract. The Xbox Showcase trailer did not include PS5 on the end card, so I did some digging. The actual game on their channel, their official channel trailer, has PS5, Steam, and Epic on the final card. So there could have been some kind of an agreement between them and Xbox. If we're going to be in your showcase, Xbox is like, we only want to show our logo at the end. Now, there was no Game Pass at the end. This is not a game going to Game Pass, so that, again, sort of pushes against any idea that Xbox would have some kind of a marketing contract. I think if marketing contracts are broached with Microsoft and Xbox, they commonly come with an Xbox Game Pass deal. So this one is allegedly going to be at the state of play as well for 3 minutes. Now, this debut trailer, this official reveal trailer, is actually kind of old at this point. It's just under 2 minutes. So this, again, would be the time, to come out and maybe show some actual gameplay. I believe this one is slated for 2026. And the next one is an easy one to include. This is obviously one that if you were trying to fake people out, you would certainly put this one on the list, and that is Phantom Blade Zero, allegedly going to have a 2-minute slot. This is one that's highly anticipated. They've released some gameplay this year that has really kind of wowed people and surprised people. This one will be at the Tokyo Game Show lineup. They officially released a blog on their Japanese blog website, so you got to kind of go and interpret it. Genki on Twitter did that for us, and this is part of the Tokyo Game Show lineup, so it makes perfectly good sense to have it at the event, and it says it's going to have a 2-minute segment. So a lot of their trailers have been in the 2 and 3 minute range, so that could add some credence to the fact that Phantom Blade Zero will, in fact, be there. This is another one that I think adds credence to the fact that this, whoever's doing this is not trying to just overhype it or trick people. Akuma the Frozen Compass will be there with a 2-minute spot. This one just kind of, again, if you're going to think that something's legitimate or not legitimate, I don't think if you were trying to trick people, you would necessarily include a game like this. It's kind of random. This one is sort of like a charming co-op game where you play from 2 different perspectives. Maybe not the entire time, but they do show right here that you can have the vertical split screen, something that's very familiar to people who have played like Split Fiction or It Takes Two. We're seeing kind of a rise of these types of games. Now, this is a multi-plat game slated for 2026. It looks like PlayStation maybe has some of the marketing agreement, given the number of trailers are on various PlayStation channels, not just this one, but like PlayStation Canada and the like. So that one, I think, adds a little bit of credence to the leak. And then this one, I think, is also so out of nowhere. Hang on, let me turn the closed captions off. Aces of Thunder. This is an announcement trailer for the PSVR 2 from 2 years ago. Now, just a month ago, they had a trailer that dropped at a VR game showcase, and they said arrival of the game is imminent in 2025 for Steam and PSVR 2. I really do think this adds credence to the leak. It's like, this is such a random game to pull out and be like, oh no, yeah, this is going to be a part of the state of play. Unless somebody, again, is really, really doing their due diligence and researching all the games that are coming out, I feel like this would have been outside of your frame, unless somebody just did a quick search of like upcoming PSVR 2 games and they saw this one listed and thought, well, let's throw one in. We know PlayStation likes to include like a VR game here and there in their showcases. And the next one is one that was kind of questioned on Twitter. Why would they do another Resident Evil? Resident Evil 9 Requiem is, according to this leak, allegedly going to be there. I'm trying to get you guys some footage here. It's allegedly going to be there for a 3-minute spot. Now, there were leaks leading up to this where people were thinking that we were going to finally get a look at Leon and his involvement, maybe Leon's gameplay. This is also part of PlayStation's lineup for Tokyo Game Show, so this one kind of tracks. They're getting ready to gear up and go to Tokyo Game Show, and Resident Evil is going to be there with PlayStation. So Capcom and PlayStation certainly doing a bit of work here on the marketing together. So a 3-minute spot for Resident Evil Requiem. Now, this is the most recent trailer, and it's 2.5 minutes long. So these 2 to 3 minute slots that we're seeing for a lot of these games, again, kind of tracks. And remember, when I added up all the time on this sheet, I got 38 minutes. They say that this state of play is 35 plus minutes. Again, the odds of this leak basically getting the clocked time of the event right. Like, if you added up all the minutes of the leak and it was like 20 or like 45 or 50, I'd be like, yeah, this leak's probably fake. The fact that it was 38 minutes and this thing is 35 plus minutes, I again think it tracks. Now, the 11th slot, they said, is a PS Plus catalog update for 1 minute. That makes sense. Just a quick little filler before the 2 show enders come in. The 2 show enders are Saros and Wolverine. Now, Saros is second to last at 12th. They have it slotted for 3 minutes. Again, this could have been something tentative. The 5-minute slot is what we're being told. It's an extended look. That's 5 minutes. It could be 3 minutes of gameplay and 2 minutes of an update from Housemarque, because they did say they're going to have updates from their PlayStation studios, and one of those updates is Housemarque. If this is being classified as a studio update, the actual update portion could be a minute or two of them talking about what they wanted to do after Returnal. Clearly, this game is continuing the genre that they made in Returnal, and I can't freaking wait. I put in over 100 hours in Returnal, and I'm still playing it to this day, grinding Tower of Sisyphus to get all of the weapon perks. So I cannot wait for this game, and we're going to get a good look at gameplay tomorrow, and I'm ecstatic about that. I really, really am. I lost my dadgum mind. I remember when this thing happened with the eyeball, I said at the reveal, I said that had Returnal vibes. And then when the Housemarque logo came up, I screamed my dadgum head off, because I love them and I love their game. And I'm thrilled to be getting what is essentially a spiritual sequel to Returnal. Now, last but certainly not least, many people have been saying, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? But they're also asking, where in the world is Marvel's Wolverine? Okay, this is spot number 13. I have been saying that if Wolverine is at this event, it will be a release window trailer. It'll be mostly cinematic, maybe a couple seconds or less of, very quick look at gameplay, and they will confirm that Wolverine is 2026. Similarly, last year, on the exact same date, September 24th of last year, there was a state of play, and they revealed Yotei was coming out 2025. I think they're going to do the same thing with Wolverine at the end of the state of play. They're going to confirm that, yes, it's still coming, and then they're going to end the trailer with 2026. I believe Saros is a first half of the year release next year, probably February or March, and then I believe Marvel's Wolverine will be like an October or November release. And they're going to confirm that it is coming, and that it is coming in 2026 at the end of the state of play. Those are all the games, and when you add up everything, it does total to 38 minutes. Now, somebody might be like, well, what about Marvel Tokyo Fighting Souls? It's kind of random for it not to be there. That does feel a little out of place to not have it be there, and this is my thought. They don't want 2 big Marvel properties in one event. They did that with Wolvie and Spidey 2 way back in the day, but generally I don't think they would want Marvel Tokyo Fighting Souls and Marvel Wolverine kind of fighting for position. So if you're going to have a big Marvel game show up, you want it to be one of them, and since Marvel Tokyo Fighting Souls is going to be a part of Tokyo Game Show, that would, to me, again, make sense as to why it wasn't included in the state of play. That's it. That's the leak. That's my thoughts on the leak. We have a nice list for tomorrow to see how accurate the list is. We'll know very quickly if the list is accurate or not, because if a bunch of games, if we get halfway through the show and it's a bunch of different games, we'll be like, okay, the leak was fake. If we get halfway through the show and that list is got a lot of check marks on it, then we'll know that it potentially was a real thing. So, just good guessing, says Paul. Yeah, a lot of people thought it was fake. They thought it was totally fake. The thing that I keep tripping up on, Paul, is the God of War image. The God of War image is tripping me out. It honestly looks like what you would do if you were making a God of War Metroidvania. Like it has, I don't know. We'll see. Cool games this year. I hate the developers abusing UE5 to deliver games faster for cash grabbing instead of delivering quality. I think that's a misdiagnosis. I mean, I understand frustrations with UE5. I think that's fair. I don't know if that's the appropriate diagnosis to be like, well, they're rushing games for cash grab. That's why they went to UE5. I think people went to UE5 because it looked cool. Like, I think people went to UE5 because it looked cool and they could do cool stuff with it. I think, you know what I mean? Metallica is live reacting to the heartbreaking that is Ori and the Blind Forest. You just take the rest of the day off, Talia. You're gonna be sad. You got sad times ahead. A cartoon God of War game would be great. I don't know how cartoony it would be. I don't know. I think it would be somewhat adjacent to how Prince of Persia looked. UE5 allowed devs to write big checks that the optimization couldn't cash. We've also had some good UE5 games like Split Fiction. I think it comes down to the developers. I don't think it was like, well, let's cut a cash grab. Let's get this out fast. I think they literally thought, that's a cool engine. Let's do cool stuff with it. Split Fiction did cool stuff with it. That was a great game. Expedition 33 had some rough edges, but overall, Expedition 33 was a great game. So if Kratos is in a Metroidvania, does that mean he can jump? Don't tell Doc Dark. He'll be very upset about that. He'll be like, so he can jump. Like, he'll be very upset. Oh, you're just playing the demo of Ori? Oh, okay. Folks trying to downgrade my boy Kratos to cartoon levels. The demo didn't have to go that hard. I mean, you really haven't experienced the beauty of Ori until you've heard Quolox Malaise or Quolox Malaise. Yeah, until you hear that soundtrack in a boss fight, you haven't really experienced the greatness of Ori. When you first meet Quolox, that's Ori and the Will of the Wisps, by the way. That's the sequel. That's the sequel. When you first meet Quolox, and then there's Quolox Malaise later as a soundtrack in a boss fight. What a phenomenal work of art. I think OD will show how good or bad UE5 actually is. Kojima will, I don't think, release anything in the state that we've seen some people release UE stuff in. I don't think he would do that. God of War 2.5 features Kratos in Greek mythology, not the old Kratos in Norse. Yeah. Yeah, the image is what I just kept tripping up on the image. Again, I give props if it's a fake. Okay? I do. I give props if it's a fake. Because if it's a fake, then it's one of the best fakes I've seen. Hey, Lona, Ori or Hollow Knight? If you had to pick one, Ori. Ori 1 and 2 are one of the... It's just such a wonderful package of Metroidvania greatness. Okay, so... Yeah, again, this image, hang on. I can get rid of some of the things in the scene that might help me out here. I've got such a cluttered scene here. There we go. This image is, I'm tripping up on it. This is one of the best fakes I've ever seen, if this is a fake. This is really, really good work. There's no slip-ups here. Nothing's off kilter. Like, everything's in its place. I need to see the image of that screenshot that I took from the end of that one trailer. At the end of the last state of play, a slide comes up like this, and it has all of the games placed like this. And this circle, and this triangle, and this quarter circle, and this X. Let me get that up on screen for you guys. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, it's one of the best fakes I've ever seen. Because usually when people do a fake like this, it's just like some stupid Word document, and it's just a list of games. Like this actually, like, somebody put some time. Okay, somebody put some time into this. Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, you see what I'm saying? So you got the circle, you got the triangle, you got the quarter circle, you got the X, you got the L. Okay? Wolverine and Saros are just logos. Well, this image right here is using what's called key art. Okay? So if you've ever gotten a press kit before, sorry about that, Wilbur, I'll pause it. If you've ever gotten like a press kit for a game, these images are all what is referred to as key art. Okay? Almost like what in the past where like you would search for like cover art, right? So we go here, we go here we go. All right? So we got the same placement of the L, of the X, the quarter circle, the triangle, this, all right? And you, like you're saying, well, Wolverine, you know, it's just a logo. No, in the background, you can see Wolverine. This 100% could be key art for Wolverine. Now, you are correct that Saros is just a logo. But right now, we've not seen Saros key art. If there's Saros key art, I haven't seen it, okay? This looks like key art. This, Phantom Blade Zero, these all to me look like believable pieces of key art that would be in a press kit, that would be in a press pack. They'd be like, yeah, go ahead and use that. Grab that from the press kit folder. I have commonly pulled open a press kit folder and it contained things like this Phantom Blade Zero. Like I've seen that plenty of times. Keighley announced Saros gameplay. Keighley didn't announce it. It's literally in the PlayStation blog. That's actually in the PlayStation blog. There's a 5-minute extended gameplay of Saros. They also said, plural, there will be updates from PlayStation Studios. One of those updates is Saros. So I think that there's 3 PlayStation Studios there. I do. I think Insomniac's there, Santa Monica's there, and Housemarque's there. You don't need an update from Sucker Punch. Yotei's next week. What update would you give us? The game's coming. It will be a trailer. I don't think you would say plural PlayStation Studios if it was just 2. I don't think that you would say that. You would say, we're going to have a 5-minute extended look at Saros and 1 update from a PlayStation Studio. Saying that you have updates from PlayStation Studios, plural, including a 5-minute extended gameplay look at Saros. Just so happens they've only got 3 on here. I don't know. Listen, I'm just going to keep saying it. If this is a fake, I'm not saying whether the fake is real or not. I'm saying if this is a fake, it's one of the best fakes I've ever seen. The way they took the picture, the quality of the picture is terrible. It's hard to see. And again, they're including games that I don't know if you would include. Would you include games like Tides of Tomorrow, Aces of Thunder, Valor Mortis, the Dench Attack game with the bus? These don't seem like games that you would include if you were trying to trick people. I don't know. I'm not saying whether it's real or not. I think it's fun. It's exciting. You know, it's enjoyable to speculate. And tomorrow we'll go through the list and we'll see. We'll go through the list and we'll see if any of it was accurate. Isn't it Tides of Annihilation? Tides of Annihilation is a different game than Tides of Tomorrow. Tides of Tomorrow is the live service game. It's this game here. Tides of Tomorrow, it debuted at the summer showcase, the summer state of play during Summer Game Fest with PlayStation. Any chance for Greek God of War remasters? There were rumors swirling about that. I don't know if there was any validity to it or not. But yeah, there were rumors about... Oh, Siege Master, I'm so sorry I didn't see this. In a single from Siege Master, he bumps it to 255. Our next milestone where I owe you guys members is 275. Siege Master, rather brilliantly, is trying to bait the 20 bomb, and I didn't catch it until just now. I'm sorry about that. He's hoping that you guys can drop the 20 bomb before Joker Quinn or Jaster ruin the total. And it's always a bit of a race. It's a bit of a contest to see if you can beat Joker Quinn, or if you can beat the other one that's been ruining it, which is Jaster. We've had multiple people recently ruining things. They like to ruin the effort. UE remasters could be good. Yeah, I mean, I think that I don't really have strong opinions about like the old God of Wars, whether you were to do remasters or remakes or whatever. I've always thought if you're going to go back and grab really old games, I would prefer a remake. Like taking a really old game and just making it like slightly prettier. I'm always just kind of like, oh, okay. Like, it's like, well, okay, it's still the old game though. You just made it look a little bit nicer. I know. That's a personal thing. I know there are other people that are like, oh, but such and such game is so good. Like, oh, they should go back and they and I'm just like, yeah, I don't care. I don't want to play an old game that's made slightly prettier. I'd rather play a game that feels like today. You know? That's just like when they did a remake of Last of Us Part 1, but then a remaster of Part 2, that made perfectly good sense. They remastered the one that was only, 3 or 4 years old. They remade the one that was quite a bit older, so it made more sense. It's a bit like them trying to make Lono look 20 again. Yeah, that's kind of the same. Yeah. It would be also kind of like trying to like remake your comment to be funny. It would take a lot of work, but it would certainly make it better, I can't even play most games made 5 years ago. Well, 5 years ago is not that. I mean, 2020, I mean, come on. That was the beginning of this gen. I mean, it's a lot of games from back then that are perfectly fine. Like 2020 and 2021. What I mean, you're talking about like games like Returnal and Ratchet. The funniest part about Chris String's last podcast, 30-35% of gamers want a faithful remastered, 30-35% want original remastered, and 30-35% agree with both. I don't understand. They want a faithful remaster and the other 30-35 want an original remaster? I'm not sure what you're saying. Those sound like the same thing. I mean, users are going to be split on these issues all of the time. Like, if you're a big fan of a game from way back when, you probably want it to be treated well. You want it treated well, which I understand. Is it possible we see Intergalactic? I don't think so. I believe Neil Druckmann said something recently that indicated that they're not close to showing anything just yet, but they're obviously excited to and they want to, but they're not in a position right now to be showing anything. I also think, based on everything that we've heard, Intergalactic's not till 2027, so likely the announcement is all we're going to get for a while. We'll see Intergalactic. If they continue to do what they're doing, I would think we get a Wolverine trailer that confirms, Wolvie's coming 2026. And then they'll do the same thing in September next year. Right? They'll do the same thing. In September next year, they'll do Intergalactic 2027. Like, they'll start using September every year to be like, hey, we know our big game's about to come out. We want to confirm there's also a big game coming out end of next year. Think about what they're doing. Like, if let's just say I'm correct, that Yotei last year did that. Yotei shows up in September State of Play and they say 2025. And then this year in the September State of Play, Wolverine 2026. They would do the same thing next year. They would show up in September and say Intergalactic 2027. They might start to create that like rhythm of, you're going to have maybe something of a smaller size like Saros, and then you'll also have Wolvie. Like this year, we got two big ones. You got Death Stranding 2 and Yotei. Even though Death Stranding isn't a first-party studio, it's still an exclusive, and they consider it a first-party effort, which makes sense that they're publishing it, and Kojima worked with Guerrilla in in Decima, to make the first game. So next year, you get Saros, and then you get Wolvie. A year after that, you would get something with Intergalactic. I think that's what they're going to be commonly doing. 2 first-party efforts a year, and then they'll have all sorts of other like second and third-party deals, exclusives, and the like. Like this year, you got The Midnight Walk, you got Death Stranding 2, you got Lost Soul Aside, you've got like Baby Steps Today, you've got like smaller, either lesser knowns or like offshoot exclusives and things like that, VR exclusives. I think they're going to always do that. They're going to have like maybe like 2 of their bigger studios, and then they'll couple it with like other second and third party deals. I think that's the pattern going forward from them. I don't think we're going to have another year. Now, maybe the year that the PlayStation 6 lands, which I've continued to say that I think is 2028. In the wake of that landing, you might get another year where there's like 3 big games, like when they did Horizon, Gran Turismo 7, and God of War all in the same year. That actually only happened because of the Horizon delay. Like if Horizon had not been delayed, then that wouldn't have happened. Oh yeah, Phantom Blade Zero is next year as well. Yeah, so that's another like non-first party title, but it's a publishing effort from PlayStation. Yes. Been working and lurking. What time is the state of play tomorrow? 5 p.m. Eastern, Stone. We'll just do what we always do. We'll co-stream it. We'll hang out all day before it happens and just, we'll have a good time. Bloodborne remake, PlayStation 6 launch, one can dream. You are allowed to dream. You are. I am allowed to crush your dreams. That's the relationship. So, I mean, according to Shuhei Yoshida, if they're going to be doing anything with Bloodborne, Miyazaki will need to be involved. So, that would be a prerequisite. And again, that's his theory. Neo 3 as well. That's right. I believe Neo is one of the confirmed games for Tokyo Game Show, is it not? I believe that it is. Let me pull up the list that Genki put together. Let's see. Yeah, Neo 3 is right here. So Yotei, Toko, and Fighting Souls, Neo 3. So PlayStation's about to have a pretty strong Tokyo Game Show, y'all. I mean, this is a heck of a lineup right here. This is a heck of a lineup. Wonder Woman's not happening anymore as far as we know, right? Didn't that project get canceled? If you guys have not hit the like button yet, could you do me a quick favor and do that? I'm going to pause the thing that nobody likes. Do me a quick favor and hit the like button. Try to get us to 300 likes. We had a nice, strong turnout today. YouTube's been kind of all over the place. You may have seen YouTubers like asking you to support their Patreon. We keep everything here. We try to make it as easy as possible to support directly. If you listen on a regular basis and you like the fact that it's a full-time show, I do this full-time because of direct support. So consider clicking Join, pick Member Plus. You'll get extra content as well as into our Discord. Is the State of Play today? No, it's tomorrow. The State of Play is tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. And I'm going to have to co-stream and scoot tomorrow. I'm not going to be able to linger for too long. It's actually landing at like the perfect time because it's only 35 minutes. I'll be able to debrief for a little bit, and then as soon as it gets close to 6, I gotta jet. I gotta tell my family they gotta be ready to go. They've got to be ready to go. I'm literally gonna run upstairs, and we're gonna be out the door. I'm meeting with a friend of mine tomorrow, and yeah, full schedule right now, very full schedule. So this is gonna squeak in at like the perfect time. I was so nervous it was gonna be like Thursday, and I was like, I have soccer. I'm coaching my kiddos' soccer teams. We need Eliza P too. I mean, they basically confirmed they're going to be doing a sequel to Eliza P at the end of Eliza P, and then they just did DLC that seemingly did really well. So I would imagine you're going to get one. I don't know when they'll announce that. I would think if they're going to announce Eliza P 2, that feels like a Game Awards kind of a thing. Maybe summer next year. But it would probably still be a ways away. They seem like they're pretty quick as a developer, but Lono has friends. Yes. I have lots of friends. Yeah, Thursday is Yotei. Thursday's a good day. Thursday's Yotei review roundup, and then Hades 2, the 1.0 drops. We'll be checking out both. Is the Cap and Black Panther game still happening? If you're talking about Rise of Hydra, as far as I know, some footage recently leaked. Wolverine, Intergalactic, and Saros. I think it's going to be Wolverine, Saros, and the God of War Metroidvania. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora from the Ashes DLC announcement trailer. Available December 19th. That's coinciding with third person, isn't it? I feel like, is this coinciding with the third person thing that they're doing? I feel like it is.
In this time, you have nowhere left to run. Our fire is coming. Dog Tag Warrior.
From the ashes. The title just keeps going. From the ashes rise. All new expansion available December 19th. There you go. There you go. Well, I think, when's the third person update hitting? Is it like October or something? I forget when that's hitting. They're going to add the third person update. I forget when that's happening. I'm actually really interested in trying that game again with Madam. Third person update. Free update hits on December the 5th, so about 2 weeks before that goes live. Yeah, hopefully by then, Madam and I have gotten our fill of Borderlands. We are moving oh so slowly. Through that. Yeah, we're really having a good time. I think we hit like 23 hours last night. We still can't figure out why we're getting, she gets disconnected fairly regularly. I've tried so many different things. I've tried to play on AT&T. We played on Spectrum. I switched the DNS to Google, to Cloudflare, to Automatic. It doesn't seem to help. It's super weird. Is that something anybody else is experiencing, playing Borderlands with your friends or your buds? Like the non-host fairly regularly gets disconnected? No lag, no issues, no problems, just blip, and then she can jump right back in like it was nothing. It's very strange. It's very frustrating. The Fire and Ashes, the movie drops on December the 19th. Oh. You got to the final mission in Borderlands 4 last night. I'll be rolling credits tonight for sure. Not as slow as me. 91 hours have not completed the game still. Man. Is having two consoles on the same network causing issues with port forwarding? Maybe. I mean, that's what we tried with when we were having that problem with RoboQuest. It's like a known problem in RoboQuest, and it always happened at the same point in time. I tried one of us on AT&T and one of us on Spectrum. I could try that again and see if that helps. I could try and plug in directly to one of the modems. Did you check her crossplay setting that you noticed the other day? Why would that make a difference? We're on PlayStations. I don't know. I don't know why it's happening. It's really freaking annoying. Like, I've been checking the Steam charts, and I'm like, I know there's a lot of people playing, but this sort of thing should have calmed down by now. It's been out long enough. We shouldn't be dealing with this. over 100,000 people playing right now, in the last 24 hours, 152,000 player peak on Steam. I mean, that should not be, we shouldn't be dealing with this anymore. Yeah, I'll try that tonight, Draken. I'll try one on ATT, one on Spectrum, and see if that doesn't resolve it. If you're on separate networks with separate public IP addresses, then there are two entirely separate networks. Ports can't collide. Okay. Yeah, I'll try that. I'll see if that doesn't fix it. I definitely switched us both from AT&T both to Spectrum last night. I didn't even think. I probably should have thought to do one on each. I don't know if you saw it the other week and were wondering if it might have a part of the disconnect issue. I don't know how crossplay could play a role. I was probably just throwing darts at a board, honestly. Our upload is so slow on PlayStation, and all the tricks don't fix it. I tried Google's DNS, Cloudflare's DNS, automatic DNS. I tried it on both AT&T and Spectrum. Cloudflare on Spectrum seems to give us the fastest upload. It was actually pretty good. I should have a gig upload, and I get like 10 meg. Like, what? And it's a known problem on PlayStation. And the only solutions I can ever find are switch DNS to manual and use Cloudflare or Google's DNS. That's the only thing I can find. And that doesn't make a difference. I'll get maybe 10 to 20 meg of the 1 gig upload that I should be getting on fiber. Like, it's idiotic. I assumed that was part of the problem, was that if the upload gets choked like that, it goes to resolve something and it can't, and she just gets dropped, was my very layman's attempt to theorize what could be happening. So, if you guys are tuning in for the PlayStation State of Play, if you didn't see it, the PlayStation State of Play was announced officially. We've been streaming, we've been talking about it, and we've been taking predictions and guesses and all sorts of things. And so we appreciate you guys being here. A large portion of those that found the stream today found it by searching for State of Play. So we greatly appreciate you being here. If you've been listening all morning or for a while now and you haven't hit that thumbs up button yet, do me a favor and do that. The like count does help. Make sure it saves your like as well. YouTube can be a little squirrely. Yeah. Waiting patiently for Letterbox post. They are showing Mass Effect. Who is showing Mass Effect? Is that going to happen this week at Tokyo Game Show? Or you're saying that the PlayStation State of Play, that Mass Effect's going to be there? I don't think so. I don't think so. It was announced and happened in the same day. No, the PlayStation State of Play is tomorrow. We will co-stream it tomorrow. That's something that we always do. We always have a good time doing that. And we like to... The guys from Housemark are tweeting. Can't wait to share Saros gameplay with you all tomorrow at the next State of Play. Can't wait, says the art director. Yeah, they're pumped. They are pumped. I am pumped. Sophia Lillis of It will be leading the Kojima Productions horror heavy OD. Sophia Lillis is her name. I don't know what have I seen her in outside of It. Have I seen her in anything? It Chapter 2, Nancy Drew. She seems so familiar to me. She seems super familiar. Very like recognizable face. Not much. She's pretty young. Dungeons and Dragons. From what EA said, Mass Effect won't be as cartoony as Veilguard. Yeah, the OD trailer looks incredible. I mean, it looks absolutely incredible. Like, it's on the other side of the uncanny valley. It's on the other side of the uncanny valley. Like, it looks real. Like, it doesn't look... I feel like we crossed that divide rather quickly. We went from, like, faces in games and facial animations being in the uncanny valley to being, like, breathtakingly accurate to, like, what people look like. Just... yeah. Yeah, I didn't see Dungeons and Dragons, so that's not what I recognize her from. She might just have one of those faces. I think Kojima was confirming all platforms. Yeah, when he says all players and all screamers welcome. Yeah, maybe. I don't see why anybody would be doing an exclusive with Xbox at this point. If Xbox wants to publish, great. But, like, if they're publishing their own games basically everywhere, why would you enter into a contract with them to do an exclusive? It wouldn't make much sense. Right? Like, when they unveiled OD as a game, I feel like people were still under the belief that there would be like a continuance of some of that strategy. And I don't see it. If you've got that level of pull and you've got his name, I'm not actually sure that you would agree to like an exclusive. Maybe a 6-month exclusive or something, but I'm pretty sure that game will likely end up being multi-plat. I mean, I don't care either way. I can play it on my Series X. I can play it on PC when it comes out. But originally, Microsoft was the only one interested in it. And it had the cloud stuff that he was after. Right, if they can get it to run on their infrastructure and then they put it everywhere, I mean, that kind of makes sense. If you're going to build something like that, I would imagine you'd want to recoup the cost. By selling it. Gaming trickster Sage Bennett Foddy breaks down how Baby Steps is AAA cosplay, an homage and satire to the cinematic open world game, why we play them, and what it says about us. It is struggle as insight. There's no reason for anything to be Xbox exclusive. Yeah, there's no reason to even fight about it anymore. I just think they as a company have signaled rather loudly that they've moved away from that. You're seeing a pretty sharp shift. I mean, we've seen stuff that just in the last week and a half with the hardware, and I just think people need to align their expectations. There's no reason to get like nasty about it or to fight about it. It's like, they have really, really shifted and changed their alignment as a company. And I think that can either give you, a lot of value and a lot of great stuff if you kind of want to stay in the lane with them and continue buying their stuff and being on Game Pass, or it could make you make a different choice. Hurry to Costco to buy your Xbox. I actually don't think that's that even that big of a deal. That's surprising. We're 5 years into the gen and they just raised the price. They're likely, I would imagine they're slowing production. I think they're just about to do a pretty big shift away. So, I don't think you're going to see any marks of huge change beyond what we've already seen, though. Like, I think this is kind of just to me, it just feels like the continuance of what we kind of already sensed was happening. I was like, yeah, they're changing, Interesting. What's interesting about Jeff Keighley copying and pasting an announcement from PlayStation about Saros Perfect Image? I don't understand. PlayStation announced that 2 hours ago in their blog post about the state of play. We've literally been covering that for 2 hours. What's interesting about Keeley's tweet? Costco is pretty big, but I haven't seen an Xbox in Costco in months. I can't imagine that being a big driver. Like, who's going to Costco and like buying consoles anyway? Like, I don't think that's a huge development. I don't know. You know, obviously people are drawing attention to it, but I don't think much about it personally. Can't wait for gameplay. I am extremely excited for gameplay of Saros. Very, very excited for gameplay. Because if it's got that Returnal feel, you know, if it's got that tight, quick, snappy, like iframes, bullet hell, oh, dude, I'm there. They stock a lot of PS5s and Switches, and their bundles are very well priced. There better be a date for Wolverine. I think we get a Wolverine release date. Yeah. Marvel's Wolverine, it's time. I think it's time. I think they're going to do the same thing they did last year with Yotei. They'll have a trailer that just says 2026. Last year with Yotei, you know, they ended the state of play, and you know, I'm on here. Look, I'm on it right here. This is it. This is the state of play last year, and they gave us a, let's see, 35 and a half minutes. They gave us a 2.5 minute trailer, roughly. 2.5 minute trailer. You see this right here? I think they're going to follow the same marketing pattern. I bet you they follow the same marketing pattern with Wolverine. You're going to get real quick snippets of gameplay like this, and then they're going to go like that. Then they're going to go 2026. You're thinking 2026 for Wolverine? Yes. Yeah, that's pretty much everything that we've been hearing. I think they're going to do the same thing next year with Intergalactic. They'll do a September state of play, and they'll close it out with Intergalactic saying 2027. I think this is going to be their pattern going forward. My ability to predict PlayStation's marketing has been super inconsistent, but I do feel like maybe we're starting to see some sort of a pattern emerge. Some semblance of a pattern seems to be emerging from them. So, you think they'll mess with us, show Japan or something, and it's just Wolverine in Japan? I don't know. I don't necessarily think they're going to want to mess with us. That's not really their style. Has anyone checked in on Zubair? He's been here today already. What do you mean? Audio clicking for anyone else? Audio clicking? Is anybody hearing any kind of a click? Discord, Twitch, or YouTube? I feel like if something like that happens, we get immediate response from people. Zubair's here and he's good. There you go. They're going to end each state of play with one of their big PlayStation Studios announcements. Must just be on Eugene's end. Zubair's here. He's just not very active. There you go. He's here and he's okay. No click for me. Do you think Ghost of Tsushima or Ghost of Yotei are PlayStation's Assassin's Creed? I don't think so. I don't think they're going to think of it in that way. Does that make sense? I think to them, it's just another tentpole title. Hang on, I'm filling out a survey for Jiminy Christmas. All right, I'll do that. That could be a late start. Just no morning coffee that day. They're doing these surveys with YouTube, and it's good to be involved. So I was filling it out. Restarted the app and fine. Okay. Best would be a Hulk fake out for Wolverine. I just wanted to make sure he was okay after his Ravens absolutely took a beating. Oh, come on. Oh, Dan. Yeah, he literally comes in expressing concern like, is Zuby here? Is he okay? Oh, okay, I'm glad he's okay. I just want to make sure he's okay after his team took a beating. That is rude, man. That is rude. I'm doing the... Well, I'm not going to say it. I'll take us off in left field. Do you think we will have a resurgence of PS3 remasters during the PS6 era of PlayStation, given that we are going now 3 generations past PS3? Here's the thing about that. There was an interview recently. It was the rapid fire interview. Tsushima. They did Ghost of Yotei. It was Ghost of Yotei. And they did this rapid fire interview with Sucker Punch about, what we can expect to see in Ghost of Yotei and the gameplay and everything else. And, he gets a question about that. He gets a question about, what was it, Sly Cooper or something. And he essentially was like, he basically said in the nicest way possible, nobody here wants to do that. Okay? And I've been saying that for a very long time, that I don't think there's a market for like really old PlayStation games to get remasters and remakes. Like, I don't think there's a ton of people that are like, yeah, I can't wait to play a Jack and Daxter remake. Like, remake, remaster, sequel, whatever. But the other side of the coin that I never really considered, that I think is even a stronger argument, is that like the developers aren't going to want to do it. Like, I don't think you, Wilbur. I don't think the developers are like chomping at the bit to be like, oh, I can't wait to grab a PlayStation 3 game and remake it or remaster it. I think when they did it with certain games that, probably took minimal work to do remasters of Days Gone, Last of Us Part 2. Now, Guerrilla did quite a bit of work with Horizon, but they were able to bring it up to the visual quality and fidelity of Forbidden West. That makes perfectly good sense. It's like, it's not that far away. It's something that they're really proud of. Let's go. So to me, I just don't think you're going to see a lot of developers like chomping at the bit to be like, oh, I can't wait to remake a game from PS3 era. Now, people will be like, oh, you're not a fan, or you're a tourist, or you're a whatever. You don't like any of those games. Listen, I don't have a history with PlayStation. I have a longer history with PC, Nintendo, and Xbox. And even I'm here to tell you, bringing those games forward, I just don't see a large market or push for it, and I don't see developers wanting to do it either. I wanted to join the weekend Jackbox game maybe next time. That we're going to do that as a stretch goal every week for now. I mean, if we feel like it gets a little bit too intrusive to our life, maybe we'll dial it back. But for now, if you guys give us 750 members on a week, we'll do a community game stream on Saturdays. And also, if you go even farther than that, if you get to 1,000, we'll do a whole segment on Friday where you guys can try to make me angry. Basically, they said remake the top 100 and leave the console alone. Last time Colin was on Moore's Law is Dead, they talked about PS3 emulation and how awful it was. Basically, they said remake the top 100 and leave the console alone. I'm going to continue to come back to, like, I don't think devs want to do it. They just don't want to. They like to do new things. They like to push new things. They like to celebrate or add to successful franchises. I mean, look at what they've done with Horizon. Boom, Forbidden West. Look at what they've done with Returnal. Spiritual sequel in Saros. Spider-Man 1 to 2 with the Miles Morales in the middle. God of War 2018 to Ragnarok. Like, Tsushima to Yotei. These devs continue to signal and show they really like working on the new stuff that they've built. They really like continuing the new franchises or the new, games that they've built. They're not like, Yeah, let's go back and do Killzone, Resistance, Jak and Daxter. Now, there was a recent revelation, I believe it was earlier this year. There was like a pitch for Resistance that I think PlayStation rejected, maybe. Again, I think they look at the landscape and they just don't see a lot of ground for that. Right? They don't see a lot of ground for that. I believe that was rejected, right? Resistance pitch rejected. Wasn't that reported? Yeah, Insomniac Games pitched Resistance 4. That was reported earlier this year in February, but it never got approved. According to Price, he had developers, they pitched that one. It was a wonderful concept, and in terms of timing and market opportunity, it didn't work out. They were passionate about extending the story further because I do believe that Resistance has set up a really cool alternate history base where anything can happen with the Chimera and where they would go and what their origins are. You see what I'm saying? Like, I really think this sentence kind of encapsulates what I've always said about like why you just don't see PlayStation really signing up to do something adjacent to Call of Duty. In terms of timing and market opportunity, it didn't work out. It's not a market conducive to anything adjacent to COD right now. It just isn't. It's not conducive to it. It would be very, very difficult. And you have to remember something. A huge percentage of their revenue in MAU, monthly active user base, PlayStation knows the numbers. They know how many people are like living inside of Call of Duty on their platform. And it's like, that would be a huge chunk of your primary target audience with a game like that. And I just don't know. I feel like you're skiing uphill. It's like, why would you do that? Why would you work against a game that makes you tons of money? You spend $0 making marketing, or you got no skin in the game. Call of Duty doesn't cost you anything. You just make tons of money on it. Well, it would cost you money to have one of your mainline studios building a game that is somewhat adjacent to Call of Duty. So I think that has to be considered. And again, when they're looking at the market, they have to make those decisions. Now, somebody's going to say, well, why did they back Concord? Okay. Again, I will always be very firm on this, that Herman Hulst should not be the one overseeing live service potential because he misfired so severely with Concord. I don't think he has the eye for it. Okay. I also think he looked at Concord during like post-Sicky, like the pandemic, and probably thought, oh, this game could bag just a percentage of a player base and do really, really well. Right. It also wasn't like COD adjacent. It was more Overwatch adjacent. So they certainly learned a hard lesson there, and I think that's why they pumped the brakes. I also think that's probably why they have been very hesitant to greenlight anything that looks like Call of Duty. Concord was Jim Ryan. This is untrue. If you go and look at the history of the Firewalk acquisition and who looked at the game and thought it looked really promising, it was Herman Hulst. It was not Jim Ryan. Also, I believe Shuhei Yoshida was a part of that as well. Like, the literal announcement for the Firewalk acquisitions got Herman Hulst all over it, talking about how amazing and talented the studio is. He was really impressed by Concord. And listen, you know, those guys talked a good game, but that game was absolutely not timed with the market. Not even remotely timed with the market. So, say the pledge? What? That's a negative. Fans at some point deserve games we ask for. You don't deserve anything. They don't make things because you deserve it. They make things hoping that you buy it and they make money. They're not like, well, we better do this because the fans deserve it. They don't give a frick about that. They're trying to make money, bro. Like, if you got this whole studio working on something and spending all this money and investing R&D and studio man hours and bandwidth, you don't deserve anything. They're trying to get you to buy something. They're not like, well, we should do this because they deserve it. What? What are you talking about? When have you ever met a company that does that? Like, we spent millions of dollars and this project spanned 5 or 6 years, and not a lot of people are going to like it, but we think you deserve it. Fans made PlayStation, just saying. You didn't make anything. You bought a product because you saw good value in it. You didn't make a thing. You didn't make the games. You didn't make the hardware. You didn't make the controllers. You didn't make any of the studios. You bought something because you thought it looked good. That's what you do as a consumer. That's what we all do as a consumer. You didn't make anything. You're a consumer. That's not the act of creation. That's the act of consuming. They've created a product, and whether or not you think it's worth your money determines its life expectancy. Like you've made nothing. You've bought something. You've purchased. It's in the name. Consumer. So yeah, if a franchise continues, it's because they think it will make them money. Now, if you listen to the interview with Neil Druckmann, I've got a video about this, like the secret ingredient for Intergalactic. To me, I think the secret ingredient is passion, right? But even Neil Druckmann in that interview admits that if Intergalactic is successful, they'll consider a sequel. Why? Because it was successful. If something's successful, that's going to be a motivator of like, we should do another one. Does that make sense? Like, they're never going to be like, oh, well, the fans deserve this. If they do fan service, it's because they think they can make money on it. I think this is a common misconception, is that if a company does something that's consumer forward, consumer leaning, or people would say pro-consumer, they're only doing it because they feel it will impact the bottom line. I've really tried to drive this home with people that were like, well, this company's more pro-consumer than this company. Listen, there are other ways to admit you're a sucker. You've been convinced, like, oh yeah, they're pro-consumer. They did this for me. No, they did it to make money. Amazon is not pro-consumer when they let me return something really easily. They want me to always come back to them to make my purchases. They want me to buy my soap, my shampoo, my sleepy tea, my controllers, my batteries. They want me to go to them for my purchases. So they're very consumer friendly to me when I want to return something. Why? Well, because they're like, well, it'll keep them coming back. It's profit motivated. It's not altruistic. So if a company decides to give you a sequel to a game, they're not like, well, the fans deserve this. They're like, no, we can make money on this. Pro-consumer is a good thing. Pro-consumer is a misnomer. It's not a thing. It doesn't exist. It doesn't. Anytime a company is trying to convince you they're pro-consumer, homie, that's marketing. That's PR. They're trying to win your allegiance. It's a phantom. It's not real. It's total marketing. They're basically doing it's like they're campaigning for your loyalty. If they convince you that they're pro-consumer, they have done an incredible job with their marketing and their PR. Like, that's the whole point, is to win your allegiance and to win your loyalty. That's why they do it. You don't deserve jack. They don't owe you anything. Right, like, they don't owe you anything. Like, if you paid money for Spider-Man 1, and you thought Spider-Man 1 was great, and you gave them your money, there was a transaction that took place. There was a value proposition, and then you bought it, and then there was value transmission, okay? Now, if you're like, oh, but we supported that game, you owe us a sequel. They don't owe you jack squat. Insomniac could have been like, you know what? We really feel like that was a great one-off. The next thing we want to do is, let's say they just jumped to Wolverine instead of Spider-Man 2. They don't owe you anything. They're like, well, no, we're going to make decisions that we feel like are in the best interest of the company. When you have hundreds of employees, that comes first every time. You're just another consumer who bought their product. A lot of the us versus them diatribes on YouTube and Twitter are driven by people who don't understand the fundamentals of business. What they understand is how to get people to click on a video. Like, well, this is how you get people to click on a video. You do us versus them language. You talk about this mythical they. Well, they are evil. They are bad. This mythical they, whoever they are. And you act like we got to band together. It's us versus them. And it's like, that's not really how it works. Their company's making products. If you think the product's worth it, you buy it. If they think it's worth making another one because it's good for their bottom line and good for their solvency and longevity, they're going to do another one. They don't actually owe you a sequel. They don't owe you DLC. They don't owe you anything. Now, the only time I would agree with like they owe us language is if the value proposition was false and misleading. They owe you patches, fixes, and addressing bugs and problems. I would say that's the only time I would be like, yeah, they owe it to the people that bought the game to fix it. Now, if you could refund any game as easy as it was to purchase it, I've argued this many times. I've got a video on the channel saying that like refunds fix a lot of these problems. If I buy a game and an hour in, I'm like, this is a dadgum disaster, give me my money back. I think the ease with which you purchase something, you should be able to return it. I think that's logical and fair. I think you should be able to do that. Well, that would protect us a lot. Since we don't live in that reality, we live in a reality where I buy your game and I'm stuck with it. I actually think if you did a value proposition, you talked about a game running smoothly, like Randy Pitchford saying, Borderlands 4 was running smooth as butter on consoles before it came out. I would say that was a promise. That was a value proposition from the CEO of the company, and you need to make good on that. You need to fix the game. You need to update it and fix it and patch it and make it run better. But it's not like you owe us Borderlands 5, Randy, because we all bought Borderlands 4. We made Borderlands successful again. You owe us Borderlands 5. No, they don't. They don't owe you anything. They already gave you what you paid for. If they want to make more and they think it's the right call and they think it's the right decision, they're going to do it. If you had hundreds of employees working for you and you're actually running a business and you actually had to make these executive level decisions, I think it would sober a lot of these people up. They'd be like, oh yeah, I actually don't know anything. Like, it's not as simple as like, well, we owe it to our consumer. It's like, you want to do right by the consumer. You want to do things in an ethical and an upstanding way. But, if all the consumers that supported my lawn mowing business were like, hey, we really helped you in your first year. We were paying for all those times you mowed our lawns. We think you should clean our gutters for free. I'd be like, I don't know what the frick you're talking about. I mowed your lawn. You paid for something and you got it. You got the service. I mowed your lawn. Now, if I determine that free gutter cleaning for my most premium customers, right? Like, I put together a spreadsheet and I'm like, these 10 people were the most consistent. They bought the premium packages of my lawn mowing. They got the extras. They were always on time. They were having the lawn mowed 2 weeks intervals instead of 3 weeks. These are my premium platinum customers. I might determine that the bottom line is served by saying, hey, we're offering free gutter cleaning for you because we feel like you're one of our, you're one of our platinum customers. What are they going to do? Well, I'm going to stick with this guy. This guy's treating me right. Now, I'm not doing that because I owe them that. I'm doing that because I've crunched the numbers and said the cost involved in cleaning their gutters is worth it because the profit I get from them is gonna make up for it. If they stick with me next year and I keep mowing their lawns, the profit I get on these consumers is 100% worth the free gutter cleaning. Do you see? Like, that's how businesses operate. They cease to be a business if they just start doing things because they're like, well, we gotta give something to you we owe them, What is this, relevant? Oh, big corporations want profit, will do things to get profit. Some of those things may be bad, some of those things may not be bad. Profit motive is key. Is a very long poster though. It is a long poster. Remember when I kept saying GTA 6, PC, and Project Rome? What's this tweet? The tweet doesn't exist. That tweet's already been deleted. Yeah, that tweet is gone, Rope. That got deleted. That got deleted real quick. Yeah, Jake says you saw nothing. He says you saw nothing. So he must have took something down. Maybe he got a little chingering in his email, in his inbox, to take it down. All right, guys, real quick. Try to get me to 300 likes. Try to get me to 300 likes. I need to take the quickest of breaks. I got to get the PlayStation in here and get baby steps installed, okay? All right, I'll be right back. Sorry, y'all. I was not at all prepared. Everything's backwards from the Borderlands stream with Madam. Oh, yeah, the cap card's not... There we go. The cap card wasn't plugged in. I switched everything around because she wanted to be on the center monitor. HDR should not be on. Okay. Screen and video. HDR messes with my it messes with my capture card. You saved it? Hang on a second. I can't see what I'm looking at. I don't know if Discord was muted or not. You guys might have heard that for a couple seconds. Yeah, I saw the Knock trailer. It looked really good. GTA's biggest RP server, NoPixel, has announced an official collaboration with Rockstar Games coming for... Oh, for GTA 6? I mean, there's nothing in it. Saros, Wolverine, Ghost, Horizon Online, God of War, Until Dawn are my predictions for the first-party games. I think that's way too many, personally. I think that's way too many. I think it's going to be Saros, Wolverine, and then the God of War Metroidvania game. I think that's your 3. I think it's 3. I don't think you're going to get a bunch of other stuff. The fact that Rockstar worked with him is the important part. Oh. Save image. All right, let me schedule this. Okay. Check my last 5 messages before I saved it. All right, hang on. Hang on, I left the live reactions on for the gameplay stream. I hate that. Rockstar bought 5M and GTA Roleplay client. GTA Roleplay will now go directly through Rockstar, not a PC mod. Their in-house version of 5M is called Project Rome. I think GTA 6 will come to PC a lot sooner. Yeah, I said that after the one Strauss-Zelnick interview. I thought he was signaling that. I thought he was pretty heavily signaling that it was going to come to PC faster. Got an email from Arc Raiders. Pre-order now. Deluxe edition. Team up, trust no one. I really wonder what they're going to do with the feedback about PvE. Like, is it even remotely on their radar? Gonna be a moneymaker. RP mods in-house. Oh yeah, for sure. Let me set up redirect. There we go. Is Kojima a cheese? Horror game, lots of cheese. Kojima has not said anything about the game he is cheesing on. I'm not sure what your goal is here today. Maybe another GTA is on PS6. It will be great on PC. GTA. Yeah, I'm just gonna spare us the trouble. I'm not really sure what the point is that, so I'm just gonna. I just don't really abide that anymore. We've had such a good day and such a good week. Folks come in and like do this thing of like, I'm gonna try and disrupt things and get attention. It's like, yeah, that's not what my chat's here for. My chat's here for a community to enjoy gaming and have conversations, not, pay attention to your sideshow. Yeah, I just have a very low tolerance for that kind of stuff right now. Like, there's a lot of people who their goal is to not come in here and be a part of what we do. They're just here to cause, disruption and to ruin what we're trying to do. And I'm just going to continue to fence the table and be like, nah, you can't do that. It's for discussing games and hurting people when their football teams let them down. That's good. That's good, Zoob. I think the Game Awards would be a great time to show Valkyrie what Valkyrie Entertainment's been working on. Yeah, I mean, the current theory that we had about the PlayStation State of Play was that they would use it for the Wolverine game to just announce that it is still coming. Maybe quick snapshot of, some gameplay like they did with Yotei, and then the trailer would end with 2026. And then they would do a gameplay trailer at the Game Awards. Baby Steps got a 77 on Metacritic. It did? It seemed like one of those games that people would be kind of sweet on. It's got a 67 on PS5, only 6 reviews. 17 reviews on PC gave it a 77. Let's see what the issue is. Presents itself as one of the most curious games of the year, but it doesn't fully take advantage of the tools at its disposal. The experience quickly becomes repetitive, and the gameplay can become very frustrating for the player. Oh, yeah, I'll pause the ads. That's the point, isn't it? If you like the idea of QWOP and getting over it, but bounced off the difficulty, Baby Steps is perfect for you most of the time. But if you relish the frustration of those games, then this absolutely is the game for you. With a similar hiking allure to Death Stranding, Baby Steps is all about putting your best foot forward, which, more often than not, the game does just as well. Baby Steps is a unique yet somewhat divisive experience. Its sarcastic humor, awkward controls, and experimental approach will appeal to those who enjoy unusual challenges and don't mind getting angry to overcome them. For everyone else, the game will simply be frustrating. Yeah, I feel like people don't. Do people not understand? Are they not really tuned in to what's going on? You know what I mean? Isn't that kind of the point? If you guys follow Jess Capricorn, I think she's really funny. She had a great video about 60 FPS a while ago. I didn't ultimately agree with her. But she's really funny, and she played it for about, it looks like she played it for 4 hours. Yeah, she played it for about 4 hours. Did she roll credits? No, she didn't. Okay, sorry. I thought she rolled credits. She was watching the trailer for Kojima's game. Anyone else see the... have not watched the Mando Grogu clip, no. I'm blipping, thought it was me. Oh, we switched ingest servers. Yeah, YouTube switched ingest servers. Twitch didn't feel it at all. Hit like, renew your membership, do all those things. If you've been waiting to do a renewal or a gift or something, now's the time to do it. Those blips really hurt us. Like count will really help. Make sure and smash the like button. Yeah, we switched ingest servers on YouTube. We actually haven't had that in a while. No, my microphone's fine. You're just going to have to refresh. Anytime we switch ingest servers like that, you're going to have to refresh or the audio is going to get all messed up. Yeah, I don't have any control over that. I don't get how this game will be fun. Well, here's the thing that I think is interesting. As an experiment, right? Baby steps, blipping YouTube. There it is, Kingslayer. Thank you so much. We've been sitting on a 20-bomb tempter for a while at 255. Nobody took the bait. Nobody ruined it either. I'm proud of you guys. Yeah, I think it's interesting, like, as an experiment to make a game that its entertainment quality largely comes from, like, watching somebody else play and getting frustrated. I don't necessarily know how much entertainment value is had, like, sitting in your living room and playing a game like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, if your significant other is watching, if your friends are watching, you know, maybe. But but yeah, it's an interesting experiment to make a game like Baby Steps that you 100% know is designed to tick people off. And, like, are you really going to be that entertained getting angry in your office or your living room? I just don't know. I feel like the entertainment value largely comes from, like, streamers playing the game and getting irritated. Thank you, Dante, for 7 months. Where's the time go? So far, it's been totally worth it. Keep up the engaging content. I appreciate that so much, man. Let me bump the member line. Yeah, it's basically a streamer game, like Getting Over It, or Jump King, or, you know, any of the other, you know, hosts of games. Hang on. We're going to need, I think we're going to, what, is it going to be console? Yeah, none of my cap cards are going to be right now, because I switched everything. Shoot. Is it this one? Yeah, none of my... Oh. Okay, hang on. Resolution not supported. Give me a second. I'm at the change. It's probably higher than 1440 would be my guess, because it just defaulted. Markiplier shouting Freddy in Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach is another classic. Yeah, I mean, again, these types of games, I think, you know, you're always going to run into that issue of, like, is it intended to be like, hey, come have fun with this? Or is it intended to make you pull your dadgum hair out? Does that make sense? Like, I don't know. Okay. No, I don't want to see that. All right, options, graphics, gameplay, invert camera Y. Okay. Yo, thank you so much, True SSJ Havoc with 34 months. Let me get back here so we can see it. Bam, 258. 2 more for the next milestone. Proud to be here and appreciate this community. Thanks. Thank you so much, True SSJ Havoc. I appreciate that so much. We should be able to keep this on the screen. Yeah, we should be able to keep this on the screen. We'll just have to. We'll just hide the baby steps thing, and we'll just we'll just shrink it and put it like below my my camera. I don't think we're gonna need like a whole lot of. We shouldn't need a whole lot of stuff. And Ward Huff is gonna raise it to 259. Thank you so much for 37 months of subs. I appreciate it. Let's see here. I need to go to the dashboard and switch us over here on the old purple platform. Edit stream. Not raging at all. Baby steps. Okay. Was that a huge blip? Was there another one just now? $257 on a Tuesday, going well. It is going well. We're well ahead of pace. We were supposed to end today at 200. We should try to end today at. It is going well. We're. Oh shoot! I don't have Chrome muted, so you guys got to hear me twice. YouTube might be having a problem if we're getting blips that close together. Not for me? Okay. Maybe it was the remnant blip from the other one that he got hit with. Sometimes if you get like... Oh, wait. Right there, I just dropped frames. Or I have dropped frames, it looks like. Is it as frustrating as over-under or under-over with a minor twist or over-under or whatever? I don't even know what that is. All right, I'm going to feature the baby steps video on the homepage. Also, if you guys have the ability to do the hype feature, do that if you don't mind on my Tsushima video. You have to use your mobile, but you can hype a video and like basically like promote it. It doesn't cost you money or anything. So if you can hype my video on the Tsushima video, that would be awesome. So, okay. All right, I'm going to put a link in chat for you guys on YouTube. Use that or get redirected. Thanks for 300 likes and a huge day talking about State of Play. We'll talk more tomorrow. We'll co-stream it and everything else, but it's time to play some baby steps. Okay. Here, let me shut my music off. There we go. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you're watching this later, this was a live stream after a talk show. I do a talk show every day about the gaming news, and it's safe for work, so make sure you subscribe for that. But if you're watching this later, it's going to be me diving in brand new with gameplay of Baby Steps. We know that Baby Steps gameplay is meant to be rage-inducing. It doesn't have a great review score from the review outlets, and that's kind of why. And if we hit this crazy member goal beneath me, you can make my wife play it on Friday night. Make sure you're here for that. Always a good time to play a Devolver digital game. So we're going to dive in right now.
Nate, buddy, family meeting. Let's go.
Are you bringing up food again?
Not right now.
Talked about this.
Not right now.
You are
okay?
literally killing him.